Gun toting, Bible reading, God believing, truth speaking, American. This MAGA season, Democrats committing treason. I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with. This for free thinkers only. You ain't got no membership. They free. General Flint out the cage, cause he innocent. Barton Roger Stone, cause the run know that he innocent. We need to kick out every single illegal immigrant. Mandatory voter ID laws we need to implement. Tell Jussie Smollett that I know this MAGA country. Tell China we know they tryna play us like some dummies. I looked deep into it and I did the math. Why did Obama send money to that Wuhan lab? What is George Soros doing with all of his cash? Why did China take that Harvard guy and drop him a bag? Why is there so much propaganda? Funny you ask. How about that Bill Gates vaccine? Now, sorry I'll pass, cause I'm a gun-toting patriot, God-fearing patriot. Pricing why they mad, cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it. Gun-toting patriot, God-fearing patriot. Pricing why they mad, cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it.
My name is William Floyd. I was born on Long Island near the edge of the sea. When my father died, I was barely in my 20s, and the land became my charge. From it, I raised crops, cattle, and character. Could not stand idle while Parliament taxed and ruled us like children across an ocean. By the time I signed the Declaration of Independence, I was 41 years old, a husband, a father, and a general in the militia. Knowing the cost, I signed anyway. Just before we signed the Declaration, a nervous delegate said, "Floyd, if we get our necks in the noose for this, you'll kick half an hour after I'm quiet." I reckon he was right. I was built for hard work and hard battles. Shortly after the British invaded Long Island, they took my home. My wife and children fled under threat of fire and sword, but we did not yield. I took up command in the militia, rose to Major General, and helped carry the war forward. My family, like this country, endured, rebuilt, and reclaimed what was lost. Liberty comes at a cost. I paid it willingly. So must you.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Jimmy.
Good evening, Ruby. Hello, everyone in the chat and everybody that's watching. Welcome to the Unrelenting Political Corner again.
Yep, let me put the chat on the screen. I forgot to do that, but wow, everybody has been on time with us early. Actually, early. I already saw the chat on fire. I am so happy you guys are here. I am going to say a quick hello to everybody. King of Dots, Jane, Dallas, Bo, Jay, who else? Steen,
Oh,
Rose.
Bo's already here tonight. Good.
Yeah, right. I am so glad he's back.
Yeah, he's going to try to come on with us tonight.
All right. We have somebody new in the chat. Hi from Ireland, Bernadette. I think that's how you pronounce it. Jesse, look at Jesse. Welcome. Miss C, another new name I'm not familiar with, so welcome. Who else is here? Get in the chat right now. This is your time. This is your moment for a shout out. So get in the chat right now. Mick is back. Welcome. Deborah, dehydrated nurse. Let's see.
She's good. She sends me a lot of stuff through Messenger,
Me
and
too.
yeah, so yeah, she's awesome.
Debbie's here. Hi, Debbie. John Marciano, Janie. Wow, guys. Joe and Fran. Hey, Joe and Fran. Lisa. Welcome back, Lisa. This user's here, and the user's name is I'm Your Daddy with President Trump as the profile picture. So welcome. J-Man. Hey, haven't seen him in a minute, even though I see you on Facebook. I see him on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm caught up. Let's see. Did anybody else enter? Dan, welcome, Dan. JW Neverland from Seattle. Wow. JG. Okay. All right. I'm up with the chat. So welcome everybody to the chat. And Jimmy, do you want to do your intro for clip?
Yeah, the little funny clip. So before we play that, Ruby, would in one word, how would you describe 2025 so far?
Shocking.
Okay.
Very
For
shocking.
those in the chat, real quick, if you had to describe 2025 in one word,
One
what would
word.
you say? One word. What would you
All right.
say?
Let's give them a minute. They need a
Yeah,
minute.
let's give them a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, get your thumbs ready, everybody, or your fingers. Get ready. Get in the chat. Let us know in one word. But yeah, I would say like a roller coaster. A roller coaster, definitely. Jesse says gay.
Awakening. Okay.
Awakening. Oh, thank you, Missy. Cat B. Hey, Cat.
Shit
Alarming.
show. Chaotic. Sucks.
Beverly. Hey, Beverly. Busy. Roller coaster. Joe and Fran say chaos. Jay says sucks. Chaotic. Confusing. Chaotic. Another chaotic. Wow. Insane. Rosie says crazy. Off the hook. Yes, a roller coaster. Yeah, I agree with you guys.
All right. So in light of that, let me go ahead and put a language warning out for this clip real quick. But there's hope for all of us in 2025. Let's roll that clip, Ruby.
All right, I'm gonna play it, and I'm watching it live with you guys.
What the fuck is going on? What is up? What the fuck? Everything is so fucked up and I am not okay. There's no way that this is real. No, it's real. No, for real. No, this can't be real for real, cause that would be insane. I think I need to lay down, drug myself, and black out. Everything will turn around and I will be okay. It's okay, I'm feeling fine, I'm so fine. I'm not fine, I'm not fine. Let's hit rewind, go back to yesterday. Everything is going great, nothing's bad, it's so great. We should celebrate how fucking great everything is. Maybe I'll just call my phone, that sounds fine, nothing's wrong. Everyone is yelling, will you just leave me alone? What the fuck is going on? What is up? What the fuck? Everything is so fucked up and I am not okay. No, this can't be real for real, cause that would be insane. Fine, I'm fine. No, this can't be real for real, cause that would be insane.
I found that to be freaking hilarious.
I'm gonna go to the chat, and I'm gonna show you guys what the chat has been saying. Jane says, this man has problems. Stop listening to news or media. Nurse says Groundhog Day. OMG. Who else? Rolling on the floor laughing. I'm almost this close to not caring anymore, honestly. Like I'm the type to kind of be shocked for that day, that hour, send you a text in all caps like, Jimmy, oh my God. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm good. The sun came up the next day. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
I get it. I think one of okay, so one of the comments that I resonated with was the Groundhog Day one, because it kind of feels like that with just so much stuff going on. But like I said, also I think it was Bo that said he said awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, in my opinion, what I see going on, because there's a lot of people starting to ask questions about things. And we all know that that's the first step of waking up to stuff, is start asking questions. So,
All right. Well, Lisa in the comments, she says, I'm with you, Ruby. I've been doing this for 5 years now. Doing what? That's scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be sick and tired of, and I think I remember telling you this in season 1. I was like, imagine you guys if you've been awake your entire life or 20
yeah,
something, 10
yeah,
years. I
yeah,
wouldn't be able to handle that. Like, I am literally giving it back. Like, okay, I've had my fun. Thank you. I've learned a lot. I've got many opinions and that I've even got dragged for, but hey, those were good times. The good old times when you
right.
would get banned from X or Facebook and you had a reason to say something. But now I'm like, I'm good.
Well, see, I put a post out the other night, and, a lot of people, say, oh, nothing's happening, nobody's waking up or anything like that. But with everything that's happened in the past 2 weeks, um,
Mhm.
I see a shift. And
Mhm.
the reason I see a shift is because in my post, I said, okay, well, I see some differences here. I'm not being censored yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I haven't had people, yelling at me and calling me a bunch of names. I haven't had folks, you know,
Mhm.
unfriend me or block me or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the arguments, I haven't gotten any arguments with anybody.
Good.
And so this time around, after posting everything I've had for the last, week, so I noticed that I wasn't being called names. People were resonating. People are asking me questions. I get sent more videos and messages that I can keep up with.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been doing this, God, for 5 years now. It is amazing how time has flown by. But
Mhm.
I do see a shift in the consciousness. I do see that.
Okay, and it's a positive one because 4
Yes.
years ago, I would have not agreed. I would have been like, there's such a division that it's too obvious. It's too obvious because before they politicized a hat,
Yeah.
that's when my alarm system went off. I was like, this is not normal. Why are people getting upset just because you're wearing a red hat? Why do
Yeah.
people still get upset about the Confederate flag? It's just a flag, right? But that's me speaking from like, oh, I'm not too political. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really get involved. I don't understand the deeper meanings in it or whatever.
Right.
Then I took out the time to actually learn why somebody would be upset for that.
Right.
And still, even with that knowledge, at the end of the day, you live in the United States of America and you can wave whatever flag you want as long as it doesn't, break any like hate laws or whatever. Or if it's not, bad in that sense, like vulgar. You can wave it and you can wear that hat. Like it doesn't matter. You're in America, right? But the social pressures is when I started realizing that this is way deeper than just politics. It's way
Oh yeah.
deeper.
Oh yeah. So way deeper. For the audience this evening, we are going to be all over the place tonight. So hope you guys can keep up. We are going to have folks come on the stage. This is going to be an open discussion tonight. We got some stuff to bring out, and we're going to do that. but it is going to be all over the place. So there's no script this evening. There's no hardcore format that we're going to be adhering to tonight. We will have those episodes, but Ruby's been working. I just got promoted at work.
Yay! Everybody
Thank
put
you.
applause in the chat.
Appreciate that. I'm taking a district manager's position in the company, and that
Wow,
goes into effect
congrats.
October 1st. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to require a lot more of my time. So I'll still be doing what I do, but there might be some weeks I might come on here and I'll be like, guys, I don't know what the hell happened this week. Can y'all tell me? Can y'all tell me? So, there is that possibility. So,
But that's okay, because even though we are going to jump around topics, at least there will be the theme that we should always keep in mind when you enter this type of show is that we are America first. That's the theme. We
yeah,
believe in the Constitution. We believe in freedom.
yes,
Okay. We talk about that all the time, but that's the theme. And then you know what I was thinking? That's why I love your header so much, because I have, I have your page right here on another screen, right? And I'm
yeah,
looking at it and I read it over and over, and I love it because behind it says "We the people," right? And then the sentence says "We must unite again. We must fight again." And I love it. I love it so much. And that reminded me of last Tuesday. Joe and Fran put a comment in that video, and they said, like, maybe I should just look it up. I don't want to, put words that are not there. Let me see if I could find the comment, because it had to do with unity. And I guess maybe I mentioned it in the last stream about Charlie.
you did.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Joe and Fran commented and they said, "United how? By which religion? Or none? Is there really a choice?" And I've been thinking about that for 6 days. That has been there. I didn't even reply to it. I just liked it.
Mhm,
Because and now that I'm looking at your header, we know for a fact that not everybody's going to unite on religion or on the same ideology. Like, that's never going to happen.
right.
But one thing we should and can unite under is the Constitution,
hmm
is the Bill of Rights, or our amendments, our founding values as Americans.
Right.
That's what we should be united under. So when bad things happen, like what happened, we can grieve, we can mourn, yes, but we need to keep going. Like I just told you before we
Mhm,
go on the live, just because one man got shot and died, that doesn't mean the fight is over, or if we should be afraid. And like, no, there's still major issues. And we did go over it in the same stream. We talked about Israel
Yeah,
and how things were
we'll talk.
going on behind the scenes.
hmm I
So,
I
mm-hmm,
think I think the biggest thing that I've tried to do and help, educate people on was the playbook. What these people use to keep us divided, to keep us distracted, so that we focus on the events that they're creating so that they can still move behind the scenes and do whatever they want to do. That's what we have to wake up to. And then once you realize that all that crap's going on, then unity can begin. And I'm telling you, after this event, I've had more messages than people asking me stuff. Just, Jimmy, what's this? What's this? What do you think about this? Da, 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 da. And that gives me hope, knowing that people are waking up. It's taken a while. I mean, you mentioned it before, the people that have woke up 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago to this stuff. They knew this stuff, but they didn't have a way to get their message out in a broad sense to help everybody else. So that's what we're doing. That's what the
right,
internet's been great for that.
right. So that's what I want to go to, because while the distraction, in my opinion, whether it's real or not. We kind of explored theories. We've explored every angle, right? But while that was going on, things were happening behind the scenes, right?
Yep.
So I don't think we went too deeply. We did mention it, but I don't think we went too deeply into it.
Too deeply into what?
Into the fact that the very same day that this happened to Charlie,
Oh,
Congress passed.
all the other stuff was going on. Yeah. Well, we didn't touch on it much last week, and so we do have some information for this week of things that have been going on behind the scenes. But then I'm also going to share the text exchange between the alleged shooter and his live-in boyfriend. In case you missed that, I'm going to read it for you guys. We're going to talk about that. There's a lot to talk about tonight. We'll like I said, we're going to be all over the place.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the clip because that kind of does it better for us in this format. And I'm going to show you, the source, the tweet, everything, right? And I hope that our show continues to trigger people to look this up themselves. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go to X, look at the tweet, look at the video. I just like to bring it out because this is what I saw. This is what I found out. So I hope that this triggers it for everyone. So this tweet comes from James Lee on X. This was posted on September 13th, and this is the caption. It says, "Pay attention, folks. While we were all distracted, the House just passed a bill to make it illegal for U.S. defense contractors to boycott Israel." Read that again. American weapons manufacturers will now be legally bound to keep arming Israel by order of Congress. So let's watch the clip.
You want to know what they were trying to distract us from in the last couple of days? Well, it's this right here. The House of Representatives just passed a bill punishing, quote, politically motivated boycotts of Israel. Quote, in a first step towards a federal law punishing criticism of Israel, the House of Representatives on Wednesday, that was 9/11, mind you, passed a massive defense budget that would bar companies engaged in politically motivated boycotts of the country from Pentagon contracts. The bill would effectively ban contractors boycotting Israel from tapping most federal contract dollars, since more than half of the $755 billion in the U.S. government spent on contracts last year flowed through the Defense Department. All right, so in more plain English, the U.S. Congress is trying to make it so that in order for American weapons manufacturers to supply weapons to the U.S. military, they must also supply weapons to Israel by law. What the is that all about? I also just want to reiterate again that Israel had nothing to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Okay.
I like his little smile at the end there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Did that sound like a cop-out or did that sound like satire?
That sounded like he was trolling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. Did you ever see the exchange between Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz?
No. Was Cruz on his show?
I think he was on Tucker's show. Go to my Facebook page and scroll down until you see Tucker and Cruz. I don't remember how many minutes it is, maybe 5 or 6, but listen to the way Cruz talks, watch his body language, his gestures, and with what he says, and compare that to the video you just played about what Congress wanted to do with, the whole Israel thing and the weapons thing. So
Okay. So I found the clip. It's about 9 minutes long. So you're gonna have to tell me when to stop.
it's, you know what? Honestly,
play the
it's
whole thing.
well worth it.
Okay, let's
So
play the whole thing.
if folks haven't seen it, watch this. This is crazy.
Okay.
You said that the single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Which is also America first. That's another way of putting that
I
as
think
well.
it's the definition of it.
I came into Congress 13 years ago,
Yes.
with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that. By the way, Tucker, it's a very weird thing. The obsession with Israel, when we're talking about foreign countries,
hardly an obsession.
you're not talking about Chinese, you're not talking about Japanese, you're not talking about the Brits, you're not talking about the French. The question, what about the Jews?
You asked me why I'm obsessed with Israel.
Yep.
3 minutes after telling me that when you first ran for Congress, you elucidated one of your main goals, which is to defend Israel.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel. I don't see a lawmaker's job as defending the interests of a foreign government, period.
Okay.
Any government, including the ones that my ancestors come from. I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel.
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship
Is
and
AIPAC
relationship.
a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology. I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is.
AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC.
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay. When was the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay.
AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government. And it's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it's not, has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay. But it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
it's not true.
No.
How much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have for the government of Israel?
No idea.
My question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true.
Yeah,
and
why is false?
Why aren't they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not. It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out
I'm
if it was a
saying
good
you don't
idea to kill
believe-
General Soleimani, and you
don't
said it was bad.
believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really
we're
believe that,
carrying out military strikes today.
you said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not
at all.
bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
This is
Israel.
high stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay, President Trump campaigned on ending the war. I think he's frustrated because Putin has been less than eager to reach a deal to end the war, but it's going to end. You're not going to see another dollar
Do you think
coming from
Zelensky
Congress.
wants to end the war?
I think Zelensky has behaved horribly. I think his Oval Office meeting will go down in history as the worst Oval Office meeting of any leader that has ever come to the Oval Office. I think he behaved like a pompous ass. And I think he is unrealistic. I think Zelensky spends his time with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in the New York Times, and he believed he was going to the Oval Office as a resist figure. And I think he's doing real damage to his country right now.
You described him many times as a hero.
I don't recall ever using the word hero. I do say, look, I'm not a Zelensky cheerleader. I absolutely think we need to focus at home emphatically, and we need to focus on prosperity. We need to focus on reducing the debt, reducing spending, empowering people, low taxes, small businesses, American free enterprise. It's the most powerful force for fighting poverty the world has ever seen. I'm 1,000% there.
So what is it costing the support of the bombing campaign to protect Israel right now from Iran?
So I don't know right now. You said the support for Israel very expensive. How much support do we give to Israel?
Well, you tell me. You vote for it.
Yeah, it's about $3 billion a year is the military system.
My question is about results, because I think it's relevant to what we're seeing now in Iran. You look back after having you personally voted to send billions and billions and billions of U.S. tax dollars to Zelensky to support his civil service and the war against Russia and all this stuff. Can you say that what you did worked?
So I can say what I did personally, sanctioning Nord Stream 2 worked and prevented a war. And if Trump had still been there, if the sanction had been in effect, there would be no war. I'm in favor of avoiding wars.
You are saying we need to use military force to effect regime change.
I have not said that.
Oh, I must have.
No, I have not said that once. Okay. I don't think we need to use military force to do regime change. I said I support it. I would like to see it happen.
You said that the single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Which is also America first. That's another way of putting that as well.
I think it's the definition of it. Yeah. Does Mossad share all of its intelligence with us?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. We don't share all of our intelligence with them, but we share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Do they spy domestically in the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And friends and allies spy on each other. And I assume all of our allies spy on us.
And that's okay with you?
You know what? One of the things about being a conservative is that you're not naive and utopian. You don't think humans are all. Part of the reason socialism doesn't work is the mantra from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs doesn't work. As a conservative, I assume people act in their rational self-interest.
So it's conservative to pay people to spy on you?
It's conservative to recognize that human beings act in their own self-interest, and every one of our friends spies on us. And I'm not.
Do you like it? That's my question. I'm not asking whether they have motive to do it. Of course they do. I understand that. And by the way, I'm not mad at them. And you're an American lawmaker, so I just want to know. Hold on. I want to know your attitude. Yeah. You said that your guiding principle, in fact, the only principle, the only criterion. I
said guiding, the overwhelming. I wouldn't say only.
The single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
It is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get huge benefits for it.
And wouldn't an American lawmaker say to a client state, you're not allowed to spy on us? I'm sorry. I know why you want to. I'm not mad at you, but you're not allowed to.
Sure.
And I don't care for it. I don't want to be spied on by you. It's kind of weird not to say that, but you don't seem able to say that.
What's your reaction, Ruby?
He definitely blew that interview. And I'm glad it was Tucker. Tucker really did a great job, and that's what makes him one of the best out there. I mean, I still have my own thing about Tucker with his connections, you
Oh
already
yeah.
know about his father and stuff. So I don't trust Tucker. But when he does a good job, you got to give the credit, like he did a great job.
Yeah, it just, Cruz was, there was so much double speak. He
Mhm.
didn't want to admit that the relationship was more than just, a military thing and we want to have good relations. We all know it goes deeper than that. And that falls in line with what Congress was trying to do with those weapons and not saying stuff about Israel, anti-political comments.
Mhm.
I thought it I thought he absolutely showed his hand in that interview.
And it was also what he didn't say. Like Tucker was saying, he was like, "How could you not say that? But you have a problem saying that." And that's with all of these people. And that's what makes me think that there's something there that they're not saying
Oh yeah.
without they're saying it without saying it, but they don't say it. Like it's like so taboo. It's like don't even go there because um they don't want to come across a certain way. I think is one thing. They don't want to come across as something that the left or the right can name call them. But I think the second thing is because the money, like he was saying, if he's
Oh yeah.
funded, and they can never give a straight answer.
Yeah.
Um,
In light of what you said about the name calling, go to
mhm.
our messenger
Messenger, okay.
and yeah, our messenger and play the clip that's from 1943. It's
1940. Oh, okay.
yeah. And then after that one, then we'll play the one that's right below the funny clip that we played. We're creating a theme here. We're talking about Israel and their connections to the United States. That's what we're talking about at the moment.
Which I think most people know. The problem is that they don't see an issue with it. They think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
how Ted was trying to make it seem as if, well, if we support them, we'll be blessed.
Yeah, that
Like
second clip.
what?
That
Like
second that second clip we play will explain that too.
okay.
43, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable buildups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
And that is what has happened. That was given out in 1943 to all the communists. Their playbook, it's part of their playbook. And so that was one thing that Charlie was experiencing. He started asking questions about legit questions about Israel. And he, from his mouth, said, I'm getting text messages calling me anti Semitic, that I hate the Israel people and this and that. He said, that's so not true. But everybody else out there that wants to be in the camp of, oh, well, we got to support Israel because they're God's chosen people. And we need, they don't see that they have no problem with calling you anti Semitic just for asking questions. It's like, move along. You're not allowed to talk about this. So let's play that second clip that was underneath the guy with the white shirt.
Which also reminds me when they were canceling Kanye and then he came out with that song and we spoke about it in season 1. It's kind of him owning the cancellation because he's like, well, if you're gonna call me a Nazi, then I'm a Nazi. Like they take it on because they know that that's the only thing that you have on them. It's
Yeah,
it's it's a personal attack because you have
yeah,
nothing else to defend it.
exactly.
So That's what that reminded me of. Okay, so the video under it.
Being together, although
Not that one.
are we really together?
Yeah, not that one. It's the one that's underneath the guy in the white shirt that we played earlier.
Oh, the white shirt. Okay,
Oh,
let's see.
yeah. So there's the white
This
shirt.
one.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think that's it.
So
Yeah.
why would Kirk be targeted? Well, Turning Points USA, the organization Kirk leads, wasn't just another conservative nonprofit. It was one of Israel's most powerful assets in America. It shaped millions of young conservatives into loyal Christian Zionists. Without it, Israel's US lifeline would completely collapse. Now, according to the Gray Zone, pro-Israel billionaires tried to buy off Turning Points with a $150 million infusion, but Kirk pushed back. His support for Israel began to waver over this summer, echoing the shift we've been seeing across the entire MAGA base. We learned from Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson that Charlie was undergoing a spiritual awakening. He began to question Israel's policies, calling Netanyahu a bully and warning of ethnic cleansing in Gaza. He said he feared for his life. He invited guests critical of Israel onto his show and even warned Trump not to bomb Iran on Israel's behalf. At Turning Points USA's 2025 Student Action Summit, just a couple of months ago, Kirk gave the stage to speakers who openly discussed Jeffrey Epstein's ties to Israel and Israel's role in the Gaza genocide. Kirk crossed a red line. So why would Kirk be
What do y'all think in the chat about that? What's your view on that?
Let's see. Dehydrated nurse. I think she agrees because all of her comments point to that. She says Palestinians have more Semitic blood than Israelis.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cat B says it's used a conversation stopper. These slogans, anti-Semitic, racist, fascists, etc. They're not God's chosen people anymore. Look up the Talmud. Disgusting. Justin says the term Zionism is not even in the Bible. I mean, yeah, everybody's on the same page here. Everybody's following along.
Good.
And that is really great. Heather, welcome to the chat. She says, I must not see the chat. It's probably because we're streaming from two different channels. So you might have to come to my channel, Ruby Quinn, or you might be in Jimmy's chat. So you're going to have to just, flip through the chats and find everybody. This also reminded me of when you said that the First Amendment last week, when you were talking about that was supposed to be primarily us having the freedom of speech to talk against the government and what they do, right?
Correct.
This is that instance.
Correct.
When we're supposed to be rightly questioning and demanding answers when they vote a certain way or when they take money from a certain place, whatever the case may be, this is when our red flags have to really pop up. And this is the moment where we're supposed to be using that First Amendment and talk about it.
Yeah, we have the constitutional right to question the government. And we know that we've seen it by evidence that their playbook is to call names and to try to shut down the free speech that Americans have. And so, like you said last week, that you believe that this shooting was an attack on free speech.
Right.
I will agree with that. They don't want people talking about it. And so if you're going to be a patriot, if you're going to be American first, then exercise your First Amendment right and ask these questions. And then if anybody is going up against you, calling you names or whatever, then they don't understand what's going on. They're still stuck in the matrix.
Or when you're censored, because you're talking about Israel. Because, YouTube might do something, X might do something, Instagram, TikTok, like any platform, they're going to start using those excuses about freedom of speech. So
Yeah.
then one day it's going to come a time where our only option is face to face. It's outside, in the streets. And look what they did to Charlie, because Charlie was already going against that narrative
Hmm.
on his show, and people are noticing that. And I truly don't think that there was a conspiracy in that sense, that like they took him out because he was disagreeing with Israel. I don't think so. I don't know. But we are identifying things
Yeah.
that just don't make sense. So I cannot say yes for sure, but I also can't say no,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
I'm left up there. um but I wouldn't be surprised, is what I'm saying. Like, I would not be surprised because of what he's been saying, how he turned down that money, how he didn't go to Israel. We talked about it last week. So if anybody hasn't seen it, watch that last episode.
Yeah.
But
Because I had a couple other channels ask me to come on last week and explain what I've said in the show, in our show last week, about who gets assassinated and what are they doing specifically which would cause somebody to want to assassinate them. And like with Charlie, he had a large following. He was going through some type of, awakening, some changes or whatever. And that particular awakening or change was creating problems for a very powerful force. And, we made the connection and example of other leaders in our country that have done the same thing and got taken out. So there's several ways I lean on this whole thing, but that's why I say, yeah, I think they're suspect. And I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet that somebody put up in March, and the guy said, "Oh wow, I can't believe I put this out." Kind of prophetic. And what it had, when you're looking out of the keyhole of your door.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So pretend you're looking out the keyhole of your door and you see two guys standing there, and it says, "Hey, Charlie, we need to have a talk." And those two guys were Ben Shapiro and Netanyahu.
Yeah. Oh no.
And the dude put that
Mhm.
out in March.
Wow.
So you got to question it. I mean, I believe
Yeah.
it's highly possible that a foreign country had something to do with this. Now, let them investigate and everything, but
Mhm.
we definitely cannot believe everything that we're being told about this. And
Right.
so,
So I do have a clip that I wanted to show everybody. So this was posted in August. And this is a clip, and I don't know when this, actual video took place. I'm not sure, but I bookmarked it as soon as I saw it, because it says that this is the caption says, "The public mauling of AIPAC representative of Wisconsin, Brian Steele."
oh,
And this is what gives me hope that we're going in the right direction as a nation.
Bring us home, Nancy.
I want to have you address the question that was shouted about the starving children in Gaza.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
It's genocide! You believe in genocide?
I am so disappointed. And I am so disappointed in how you represent us.
I don't think you're the right fit for us anymore. You just don't relate to most of us anymore, and you gotta know when to step down. I think it's time.
nice.
Right?
Yeah,
I
and
would
that's
love a moment like this to tell somebody in their face.
yeah, and these folks, that's their go-to thing. Oh, well, Israel has a right to defend itself. They always say that. Well, we as American citizens, we have the right to defend ourselves as well. from the influence that they're peddling here in our country. With so many of our congressmen and senators being dual citizens, yeah, that's not cool. I saw a video earlier tonight before we came on where a guy was in a town hall and he was like, you really want to know who was behind COVID, CV? And he started listing off, you know, the head of the CDC, Jewish. The head of the deputy director, blah, 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 Jewish. Dual citizenship.
I
And
remember.
he listed like 15
Mhm.
different names.
Yeah.
And they were trying to cut him off and say, your time is up. Your time is up. And he's
Mhm.
like, look, I'm just telling the truth here.
Just facts. It's just the facts.
Yeah.
So that was happening in Wisconsin, right? Let's see what's happening in Rhode Island.
What are you doing? Facing the heat from Rhode Islanders, a U.S. senator and congressman hear loud and harsh criticism over hot-button issues. A critical crowd turned out tonight to question Senator Jack Reed and Representative Seth Magaziner. There was shouting and pointed comments.
Yeah, that joint town hall happened in Johnston. NBC 10 political reporter Brian Crandall has the outburst and the response.
Putting themselves in front of constituents, in front of critics.
What are you going to do about it?
Democrats Senator Jack Reed and Congressman Seth Magaziner faced shouts and tough questions at a community session they called at Johnston High School. Many who spoke from the crowd of more than 200 ripped the congressman on Israel's war in Gaza, claiming they're not doing enough to stop the killing of civilians.
I dare you to say, this is not a hard word. People are dying as we speak.
Magaziner said the images out of Gaza are awful and indefensible, but riled up the crowd by also pointing out he's seen indefensible images from the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel that prompted the Israeli response.
I have no patience for people who advocate for the Israeli people that do not recognize the horrors being committed in Gaza. I also have no patience for people who advocate for the Palestinian people in Gaza, but will not call out the atrocities of October 7th.
Critics want the United States to stop funding Israel and supplying weapons. You won't go that far.
Well, here's the thing. Israel lives in a very dangerous neighborhood.
Some members of the crowd pointedly called on Magaziner and Reed to stop taking campaign money from pro-Israeli groups. Neither agreed to do that. In Johnston, Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News 19.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. So that video I found on X, and that was posted on August 11th. So, I mean, that's freedom of speech right there on display.
Mm-hmm. And you can see, the reaction of these congressmen and these senators that are getting questioned. They look like Ted Cruz did. They're on the defensive because they have no way of justifying what they're doing to satisfy what American people really want for our country.
Right. Right. And that makes me happy inside, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's the white pill. Okay. When I see stuff like that, this is the white pill, especially from your generation.
Yeah.
And older, because those look like a lot of older people. And I'm actually happy that they are awake as well, and they are attending these things, town halls, meetings, and they are actually screaming this stuff out. Oh, I would love to be in a place like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People ask me about Gaza and everything, and here's my take on it. Israel, I do believe that Israel created Hamas back in 1980. Israel created Hamas as their controlled opposition. We have gotten reports that October 7th, that there were stand down orders. I mean, how can you have the strongest, most secure border in the world and just people just so happen to cross it? I believe this was all done intentionally to give Israel the justification to go in there and basically destroy Gaza. Now, they're claiming that they're going after Hamas terrorists or Hamas terrorists. Okay, but you're killing civilian people too. And that's not cool. So I believe just like with Pearl Harbor, we knew, the president knew that they were going to strike Pearl Harbor. He allowed it to happen.
Right.
We all know that now. This is the same thing. I believe that the government of Israel allowed October 7th to happen to justify what they're doing now. And they're paying money to people in our government to basically bribe them, keep them in their pocket, and then use blackmail to keep them there. So, and that goes into the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's very, very problematic that the defense stuff, they can't boycott Israel now. I mean, I don't know. Do you know, like, if it actually passed, or is it going for another,
Did it say it was in the Congress?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it has to go to the Senate next.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep my eyes open for that. That's interesting to me. But if that does go through, that will be another problem.
Oh yeah, totally.
A huge problem. So I'm gonna work my way up. Did you have any more clips that you wanted to show? Because I do have like bookmarks and stuff.
Not on this particular subject.
Okay. So there was a video that I just wanted to play because this woman, she has been doing these videos for a long time. And I think everybody knows her by now, but if you don't, her name is Valentina Gomez. She's from Texas, Republican congressional candidate, and she always goes viral for these videos that she does, right? And I guess it works. I'm not gonna I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, like, wow, she's bold, she's brave. So I wanted to play this video of her for her campaign, I guess.
Your daughters will be raped and your daughters will be raped and your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all. We're done turning the other cheek. Remember, David didn't pray for Goliath. He killed them. America is a Christian nation, so those terrorist Muslims can fuck off to any of the 57 Muslim nations. There is only one true God, and that is the God of Israel.
Gave my brothers a drink up, did everything but gave up. Stabbed my back, I came front. Still we win, we prayed up. Even when we die, we raise up. Ain't no want, no we need it. The powers that
Isn't that crazy? I thought that was crazy.
Oh, I'm a little confused. Was that supposed to be satire? What was?
No, she's very serious, and this is not the first time she's done something like this. I'm just saying, like, this is what she's known for, because she does these types of videos, and I guess she's running. She's running for all. I think she ran before, and I don't think she won, obviously, because she's still doing videos. But this was posted from Dom on X. I could show the tweet just if anybody's interested. And this was posted on August 25th. So, and if you guys didn't remember that was happening in Texas, they were building what you call it, like their places of worship, and they were doing the community was rising up, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, how we talk about, I think it in Minnesota with Somalians, right?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay, so that type of stuff was happening in Texas, and I think that's why she did this. But I found that so crazy. Like, that's bold. Like, that's broad daylight. Like, whoa. And this is another white pill for me.
Yeah, I think people are starting to wake up to the infiltration that is happening in our country, and it's all coordinated. And that's what the deep state wanted to do. They wanted to infiltrate our country, help us, or cause us to lose our national identity, and slowly rot us out from within. And, we see that in Minnesota with the Somalian, this population that they have there, and Elon Omar and the stuff that she's doing and stuff that she's saying. Oh my goodness, that woman. Yeah. Didn't you have something on
Oh,
her?
yes. Thank you. I mean, I was gonna work my way up, like I said, because this is the reason why I'm against immigration, legal or not, is because they are going to bring their culture, their religion, just everything, right? Just everything that comes with it. It's just the baggage that comes with it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. All I'm saying is that I'm against it personally, right?
Right.
And we kind of saw that where she's burning the Quran, right? Great. You have the freedom to do that. You have the freedom to hold whatever opinion you want on any, I don't care, right? But that's the problem, is that you are inputting people that come from a nation or a culture or a religion that isn't compatible with our Western values or our way of life or our uh, principles, our morals, like everything. It's incompatible.
Mm-hmm.
But do they care? No, nobody cares. The government doesn't care. I think one way or another, they profit off of it. And we already talk about the trafficking issue that unfortunately, I don't want to believe that it happens in the United States, but in season 1, Jimmy has brought it up against my will multiple times, and it's sinking. It's sinking, and I'm accepting it. And that's why I'm 100% no. I want a full stop. Every port, every boat, ship, freaking airport, I want everything shut down. Ain't nobody going nowhere until we fix what's going on, right? But we see that happening not just here, but in over there in Europe too.
Oh yeah.
So really quickly, wanted to mention that teenage girl in Scotland, I believe it was. And people were mentioning this in the live chat before, and we just didn't even have enough time to bring it up. So, really quickly, this 14-year-old, I think she's 14, I'm not sure. I've seen different numbers, but she's a minor, she's a child, okay? Walking the streets of her homeland, and she was. I don't like when they say like she was forced to brandish a weapon, but she had them. You know what I'm saying? It would just be like an American, having a gun, basically. You know what I'm saying? And you have to defend yourself. That's not wrong. It's not bad. What what I think is wrong personally is that a child felt the need to do this. Is that a child was put in a position to have to do this for her safety. Where are you as a country when children do not feel safe to walk down the block?
Yep.
And I mean, sure, that can go for any group of people. But the main issue is what we're seeing today. Maybe not 10 years ago, maybe not 20. Like maybe when I was a little girl, it was a little safer. I don't know. Was it? You guys are older than me. But what I'm seeing right now, when that happened, it was the cause and effects of immigration. Legal or illegal, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't care. Children are endangered because of that.
Yep.
And that's why I'm against it. So just wanted to mention that really quickly. We could go to the Omar situation. Do you want to kind of
Did you have the clip of that 14-year-old or no?
Yeah, I do. Did you want to see it?
Yeah, go ahead and play it for the audience, and I'll be right back. I closed my cats out. They have a catio, and I closed the window, and one of them's still outside, so I need to go put them back in the house real quick.
Okay, so I'll play it. So before I play it, I'll give everybody a warning. So Debbie is asking what happened to the girl. I don't know what happened specifically after this video, but it went viral on the internet, and people were sharing her story on X and things like that. But I do think she's okay. Like nothing really bad happened to her. But this is what she had to do when this video was caught, and I believe it was from the person himself that is recording what's happening in this incident.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't dare fucking help me! You fucking bad and
Why are you fucking with us?
These are fucking Ken bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get away from us!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's it. That's it. Show the knife.
Don't touch my wife!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my wife! Don't say she ain't fucking 12! Where's her fucking touching me? She is fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Where's my fucking touching me?
Yeah, show the knife. Maratha.
Don't touch her gun to me! Don't touch her! No, you don't dare!
Wow. The fear in that girl's voice.
Yeah, and that's what nobody talks about is what happened 5 seconds before the record button was hit. What was the interaction? What was the moment where she felt the need to do that? We don't know. We don't know. We just know what we saw. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see that. Like, oh, so Thrifty says the girl was arrested. That's crazy. That's crazy. And it's probably because she showed the knife, right? That's probably what.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So let's put an invitation out to the audience. If there's anybody out there that wants to come on real quick to just, kind of talk about what we've already talked about, the Israeli stuff, the immigration stuff, the losing of our identity here in the United States and other countries. If you want to come on and speak about that, feel free to before we move on to other topics.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna play my mid roll. I'm gonna, we're gonna transition to the. But there's another.
This text exchange is very interesting.
Oh, definitely, we're gonna get into that. But after this clip with the girl that I wanted to show you guys, these are the clips that people were making online. So I'm gonna show it to you, and then I'm gonna play my my mid roll.
Sons of Scotland, I am William Wallace. You've come to fight as free men you are. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? Fight and you may die. Run. You'll live at least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
Great movie.
How are you guys doing?
Oh, what's up, buddy?
So that was pretty interesting. There is something that I want to ask you guys about obviously with the Charlie thing.
Okay.
We were just talking about the $150 million bribe that is going around. Okay.
Mhm.
So the journalist that started this is from Iran.
Oh, really?
And it's not true.
Really?
By and he works for an Iranian a newspaper company. So I was just curious. Do you guys is this something people know about yet, or is this just kind of just starting to leak now?
It's been talked about ever since the incident happened.
Yeah, I mean, and I just want to be clear. I'm not like saying that Israel is innocent of things that they do. I mean, obviously, if you guys have ever heard me talk about them, you know that. So I just want to point that out, though, that I think that that's ironic that that's coming out. I think personally that the $150 thing that they're talking $150 million bribe, I think is a scam and not true. And they're trying to they're trying to use the death of Charlie because they've seen the effect the world has had with that murder.
I mean, that's very well possible. I mean, there's so much disinformation flying around right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we don't know who's in bed with who and who's trying to gaslight the other side or what. Yeah, so you never know.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask you guys is, you guys are probably going to talk about it later, but what Putin just said about the elites. Do you guys know about this?
No, I don't.
I saw something that he had
The
said
ball of
something.
vampires.
Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Bo. Tell us that story.
Well, I just my brother brought it to me and showed me, and I was like, okay, I've been away and I just am finding out all this crazy stuff that's going on, guys. So I've been in the forest for a while on vacation. So I'm kind of like just gathering all this stuff, and I've been watching your guys' previous video. But I mean, just make it super simple. Basically, Putin came out and said that the Western elites that are human-eating vampires are going to be exposed. And he said this like right around the same time that Charlie's shooting was.
Yeah,
And I thought that was
saw that.
pretty weird. And I was like, and I noticed that no one is covering it. Nobody's talking about it. And he's talking about the elites.
Yeah.
That we've all been talking about.
Well, does he mean like Dracula? You know, like
He's talking about human traffickers, the ones that I talked about on your
Um,
previous video, the ones who do human sacrifice. Because a lot of people don't know this, but Russia came out and said right when the war before it started that Ukraine was kidnapping their children and selling them. Because Ukraine is really well known for human trafficking. And it's one of those things that people don't really talk about. And Russia had went to the United Nations and was complaining about Ukraine, because they were talking about bringing them in, and they're like, this country is stealing our people. They're supposed to be our ally. This isn't going to happen. And then obviously the war broke out.
Oh, okay. I thought he probably could have been making a reference to King Charles because, there's a, connection with vampire stuff.
Yeah, Putin knows about the problem of, well, let's just say the plague of human trafficking that's going on in this world. And Ukraine is a hotbed for that. And so is another nation that we've talked about this evening. They're a hotbed for that as well.
Yeah. So, sorry.
I was just getting ready to say one last thing on that. Go look up, go search how pedophiles are treated when they come to Israel. Go down that rabbit hole.
They flee from here over there.
Yep.
Correct.
Because the U.S. won't pull them back.
Right.
Yep. Did you know that Russia just put Satanism as a terrorist group?
Did he really?
Yep. That's what I was just telling you. That's what he says. Says Russia has declared it will seize the finances, assistance of eternal Satanists and place them in a terrorist watch list. Russia's government views Satanism as a dangerous ideology that justifies evil, claiming its crackdown aimed to protect faith, family, and traditions. Putin previously warned that the ball of vampires is ending, claiming Western elites have long fed on human flesh and money. Now, just so you guys know, this is word for word what Putin said. My brother translated it for me.
That's
great.
That's pretty bold.
So I'm just seeing this, and I'm like, okay. I hope.
Well,
you guys
Trump did
know
something
what's going
similar
on.
here with Antifa recently. So
yeah.
I think that's in the right there. That's another white pill. So there, I've said the white pill 3 times tonight, so I'm getting white pilled tonight. Really quickly, want to welcome Apasta Babe, Linda James just joined the stage. If you want to make a comment before we move on to the Omar story, because we got to talk about that. But Linda, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so, okay. I'm in disagreement with you, Ruby, regarding different things that are negative that happens. And when you say that it's because of immigration, whether they're legal or not legal, the reason I'm in disagreement with you is because I'm under the impression that we're all immigrants that have came over here. And where do you draw the line of the non-immigrants? Because I mean, if I had to go back to where I came from, am I going to go to Ireland, Germany, Italy? Where would I be going? Because I'm a Heinz 57 honky, and I'm just like white all the way around white. And then, I mean, do you have to go back to Puerto Rico? You see where I'm at here?
Yeah.
And why I'm in disagreement with you?
Well, I think that's a really easy answer is because I didn't come from Puerto Rico. I am from here. I was born here.
Me too.
Right. So you would just stay here. So what I'm talking about is people who were not born here.
Okay, so that's the line. People
Yeah,
that were,
I mean, it's very simple.
those that are
Yeah,
born
it's
here
very
are okay. So between
yes,
Gilbert and Jesse Gonzalez, Gilbert's okay, but Jesse would not be.
because he wasn't born here.
Correct.
Right.
GG for
Okay.
GB and Jesse. Yeah.
Right. Right. And we also we also brought this up in season 1 when we talk about anchor babies. I also would say the same thing is because now just because you were born here also doesn't necessarily mean you are from here, that you are American, because some women have come here and they've given birth, but they're not from here. So when they get
And
the
they've actually been paid to do this too.
well, right. So I knew that later. So I didn't know that back then. But just the concept of anchor baby, that's when my statement of, well, you have to be born here to be American, then that's when the contradiction will arise, right? Because what if a woman comes over the border and she gives birth? Does that mean that baby is an American? Well, no. I would agree that it doesn't, and that the baby would have to go with its mother back to where they are actually from. So that's what I mean by that stance. Now, when I say legal or illegal, it's because I don't care whether or not the crime or the 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 instance of those things happening. I don't really care if the person is legal or illegal. I'm against it regardless. Like, that's just my personal opinion. I'm just against it.
I
I
am
mean, it's
too.
worse
I am
that a
too.
crime happened because this person was here and he wasn't supposed to be here, then yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's what makes it even more horrible, is that the person wasn't even supposed to be here and committed a murder or did something bad, and we later to find out that that person came here because of our weak policies. That's where that comes from.
And I agree with you on that, okay? But what I heard you say earlier tonight was you blame that kind of like what we saw these girls having, what they were doing on that video. Like you blame these kinds of crimes on immigrants, legal or illegal. And yes, I am aware of this culture where certain people will come over here and have a baby here. And I know that that happens, and it's intentionally to happen for the baby to have citizenship here and to take advantage of it. But that also applies to, like I was saying, between Gigi and Jesse Gonzalez, that would apply to Jesse as well. So I'm challenging you on, do you really, you're blaming it on a larger audience than, or a larger crowd than what you just mentioned right now. And I just don't think that's fair. And that's what I'm saying. I'm disagreeing with you on it.
And I know, can I step in for a second? I know, Ruby has her stance on things, and there are things that Ruby and I don't agree on, and that's cool.
Exactly.
So, like for me, I have no problem with legal immigration if you're going to come do it legally, which I'm going to assume, I'm not sure, they can speak to it themselves, but like with Jesse and Gigi, I'm pretty sure they did it legally.
Mhm.
So if they did it legally, I have no issue with it. That's just me personally, because, I remember back in the 80s, there was a cartoon or whatever. I can't remember what show it was. Maybe School of Hard Rock. I can't remember. Rock. I don't remember what it was. But it talked about the United States being a melting pot. And just here recently, I heard, and I have to look it up to verify it, but they wanted to, the government of the United States wanted to take that phrase away from America and not call it a melting pot. I'll have to look. I'll do some homework on that and look that back up.
And I
But
believe you, but where would that leave us with? Who gets to be the, you see what I'm saying? Who gets to be the ones that get to stay? Just the ones that were born here. So like we're going to send our, I don't know, 94-year-old grandmother who might have came and they never learned English and they were under the radar, and
well,
we're kind
so
of taking
far,
care of them now. And
well,
also
so
I want to bring up is that I have found in my studies that a lot of these people that ICE is taking, to wherever, they are in the middle of their process to become a legal citizen. That term, I just want them to do it legally. They are in the process. It's a legal process that can take like 2 years to 25 years. It takes years to do this, to become a legal citizen. So in the middle of it, they're taken away because they're not yet a legal citizen. Like you just said, you want them to do it the legal way, yet
Mhm.
they are doing it the legal way.
But I
And
think,
yet they're still
I think
able to take them away.
I can be wrong in this, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But my personal opinion on this would be, you need to stay in your own country and go to the embassy or whatever and do your legal process there, and then get approval to be in the United States. I don't think you should be an illegal alien and come across the border illegally and then say, "Oh, I'm going through the process and it's going to take 5 years, so I'm going to be here
Right.
illegally," and
That
then
would
reap
be the
the
process of what is that called when you're claiming asylum?
well.
That's when
That's
it's okay to do
that's
it that way.
yeah,
Otherwise, you're
that's different.
supposed to.
That's different than just crossing
Yeah.
the border. But what I'm seeing with the biggest problem with the illegal immigration right now is what Ruby alluded to. You got so many people coming across the border, not just here in the United States, but also in Sweden, Germany, France, Switzerland. And these people are coming in and committing horrific crimes. They are being allowed to come in. Those are the ones that we got to get the hell out of this country. And so
And that's
far,
what Trump sold us with. We got to
yeah,
get
and
rid of the criminals.
yeah, and Tom
I
Homan,
I know the city of Paramount like the back of my hand because I used to live in Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
And what happened there?
Yeah,
was just, wow.
Tom Homan, so far, from what I've seen, or the last report I heard, is so far 2 million illegal immigrants have been deported out of the United States so far in 9
And
months.
there have been those that are citizens that have been wrapped up in there, and that whole, the no process thing. And I know there's arguments with whether they deserve that or not, but I tend to be on the side of, we can't just blame criminal activity on only illegal aliens, whether they're immigrants, legal immigrants or not. That's what I was hearing Ruby say, and that's what I'm pushing back on.
I'm not saying that all crime in the United States is because of the illegal immigrants, by no means.
I agree.
Because stuff happens every day. I mean,
yes, it does.
stuff happens. But I can agree with Ruby the fact that if policies were set up, and thank goodness Trump has shut the border down. We're not having any problems at the border right now, thank God. But these people, because of weak policies, allowing people to come into our country that aren't supposed to be here, and then they go and commit crimes, and then a activist judge lets them off, lets them right back into our society. And what are they going to do? They're going to commit more crimes. And we've seen
judge would be what?
Somebody who's pushing the agenda to keep these people in our country.
On purpose, right?
On purpose.
So
when
that
I
person
spoke
would
about
not be
that,
going by the law. He would
Correct.
just be going by his own agenda, or she.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've talked about that pretty much every week. We've done a show about some judge trying to lord themselves over the executive branch, which they're not allowed to do anyway.
These are immigration judges. And what I've heard is that people that are part of ICE are going to get some 6-month course to become immigration judges.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be able to trust them to not go by their agenda?
Well, I think the reason why they're going to...
I'm not trying to be
I see what you're saying.
an asshole here. I'm just kind of pushing back with,
Oh no, that's fine. We love the devil's advocate positions. That's what makes this show great, because we can have a conversation and do it respectfully, and draw different. Yeah, everybody can look at different
and I
people.
think we've done that pretty well, you and I, Jimmy. And you
I do believe so. I do believe so.
And I agree. I have to agree with Linda on what she is talking about, and I have to take issue also with what Ruby said earlier about no immigrants at all. Think about it, Ruby. You wouldn't be born in this country if there was no immigration, because likely your grandparents or your great grandparents were not born in this country. So that means your grandparents or somebody did immigrate to this country, and maybe your parents. But then that's the only way you would be here is through immigration. If your relatives are they from Puerto Rico?
right? So I wouldn't consider them immigrants. They're Americans as well. So as soon as America took ownership, then we are all Americans. So I would not consider my grandparents or ancestors immigrants.
but they migrated here.
Can I say something about this?
Sure,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I appreciate everyone's opinions and stuff, but one of the things that I think is getting lost in this communication is that, in 1776, we needed that workforce and we brought immigrants in, because we needed and we didn't have the numbers. We are now at a point where we have so much people, we can't even afford to take care of the homeless that we have. So if we can't even take care of those who are in our country who are mentally ill and all these other things, how are we supposed to take care of all those people that are coming through this border illegally when we can't even take care of ourselves? To me, it seems like it's on purpose. It doesn't seem like it's a mistake that all these people, because we know that, I don't know how you guys know this or if you guys talk about this, but when George Soros brought all those people over, from that were all these different countries to the Mexican border during the Biden administration, a lot of people don't know this. I got family that was taught who those people were rude, destroyed the homes of the people in Mexico when they came through there. They had tens of thousands of people with signs that didn't get paid when George Soros was saying he was going to pay them to come over. A vast majority of those people are being paid by these organizations like Antifa.
Absolutely.
And they're not
And
actually
I have
real
to-
immigrants. And this is coming from Mexico. These are people, we had people who were recording these people and then pretending to be gassed, and they were recording them pretending to be attacked and stuff like that by Trump's police force and stuff. And a lot of that was artificial. If you look at the wristband, just research the border situation and the wristbands, the behavior of this people. And there's been people that were in the border in these videos that have been in border videos in other places because they're paid actors. And this is something that I don't think that a lot of people understand or realize.
That's true.
Good
I
point.
didn't realize that. And I do know that there were a lot of men that were military age from other countries that were coming here, and that seemed like an inside job too, because they were going to be like sleeper cells in our country and attack us from within.
Correct.
And it just that part I don't agree. I didn't agree with. I'm just saying in general, most of us are immigrants in one way or another, and this country was built on immigration. And even Trump was saying that they would let the like the Mexicans come back in to do the to uh, do the crops and everything, and give them a special thing. But then at the same time, they can turn right around and kick them right back out. Just bring them in for what they need them for, them and kick them back out. And that's not fair. And like they said that they were going to be taking criminals out of the country first, and then we see them dragging people off the street. Young people with but kids that were born here and that were teenagers, and I mean they would just take them without their parents or anybody knowing. And I mean they were just taking people off the street. ICE was, and they didn't show their faces. These people could be kidnapped by any terrorist organization or sex traffickers or anything. I don't think the way ICE did it was right. I don't think the people had a. There is some like that were committing crimes that needed to be taken out immediately. But the young people, the families, and where they were just grabbing women and young people off the street and taking them away, that was wrong. And then sending them to other countries, that they didn't even come from, just wherever whoever would pay the most money for them or something would take them, and probably turn them into slaves. But I'm just saying, I don't think it was right the way a lot of it had been done. But I do agree we were overrun with too many people at once, and our country can't take care of its own, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really sad. But
Yeah.
still, they might have been doing something wrong, but two wrongs don't make a right. You know,
Yeah, just I want to interject really quickly to welcome other people to the stage, and just a friendly reminder to keep your comments at a 3-minute limit, just so that everybody can get their word in, and then we can move on to the next subject. So just want to welcome Joseph and Gigi. If you guys want to unmute and say something, go right ahead. 3 minutes.
Hi, Joseph and Gigi.
Hi, good evening. This whole topic on migration, it's not going to be an easy fix. It's very complicated. I don't think we're talking about the migrants when I was young, because my family comes from Italy and Nova Scotia in England. What we're talking about is what's happening today. Now, I have an aunt who's not a citizen. She's been here for 50 years. She's from England. And she's petrified she's going to get deported. And I said, don't worry, Trump's not going to deport you. You've been here for too long. But the problem that we're having today, it's not just people coming in here illegally. It's the amount of people that came here. They sent them in the middle of the night to all different states, and rounding up these people. It's a long process, and it's an ugly process. And it's probably scaring people, seeing ICE going into buildings and schools and places of employment. But the bottom line here, it's taken a toll on our country financially, and criminally. I don't know if you watched the news the last 2 weeks, all these horrific crimes. And everyone that committed these crimes were immigrants that had several records of one guy that, especially the guy that stabbed that beautiful girl to death. He had a record. And then the guy that beheaded the guy in Dallas, he had a record. He wasn't supposed to be here. And it goes on and on and on. And then the 3 cops that were shot, that was another, and then there was another cop shot. So, there's no set and right and true answer for this migration problem. What my feeling is, I'm glad they're closing the borders. I want them to round up all the criminal element, but it's not going to happen overnight because these people are everywhere. I live Boston. They just arrested 126 cartel in Boston, Massachusetts. Because it's, one of the drug capitals of the world. Lawrence, Mass, and Lowell, Mass, have the highest drug cartels in the country. And then you go to Florida, they just rounded up huge amount of human traffickers, and they were most of them, 90% were illegals that came here. So it's not going to be an easy fix, and it's tough. I don't have a problem. My great-great-parents came over here from Italy and England. I'm a citizen. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think that's what they're talking about. I think they're talking about the migrant problem that we're having today. And we do have a lot of wonderful people that I hope they don't have to leave that should be here and that's been here for a long time. So it's a very complicated subject as far as I'm concerned. But that's my
Thank you. Thank you, Gigi. That was awesome.
Yeah, we're
Want to
good.
just give a moment for Joseph. Go ahead, unmute yourself and let us know what your thoughts are. Very faintly, Joseph.
Yay, Joseph is in the house.
Joseph, how are you?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Much better. Go ahead.
Mr.
Okay.
Mello.
Well, we must remember that we're a nation of laws.
Yes. Good one.
And immigration laws have always been on the books, but they have never been reinforced, especially during the Biden administration. He was the one, or that administration.
What happened?
Where'd he go?
Are you still with us, Joseph?
After administration, we don't hear you anymore, Joseph.
Okay, I think it's a minor glitch, Joseph. I'm not seeing any volume from you. Maybe you might have to hop off and hop back on StreamYard. I am not sure, Joseph, but we can't hear you. You're not muted, so.
He always speaks from wisdom. I really
He's
enjoy his comments, even
he's
if
so
I
mild
disagree with
tempered.
him.
He's
Yes.
very mild. Can I just throw something in off the subject of immigrants? I was watching something about Ghislaine Maxwell's father. He was a Mossad agent. So there's your connection with Epstein and Israel. And I don't like Netanyahu. I think he's a very evil man. I don't like him at all. I don't like what he just did, dropping food off to the children in Hamas, and they all got slaughtered. That makes me sick. It really makes me sick. I think he's a very evil man, and I do agree with you. And Jimmy say I think Israel owns the United States, and I think he owns Trump too. That's my stance on it, because there's just too many tie-ins to Israel, and it's not the Israel that God loves.
Right. Yeah, that's a cop out for sure. Really quickly, Dallas, welcome to the stage. Go
Well,
ahead, Dallas.
hi, y'all. I agree with Gigi on what she said, and with Linda and Debbie. I just want to greet y'all here.
Awesome, Dallas. Thank you for joining. So really, quick announcement before we move on to the next subject, because I do want to move on to.
Can I mention something real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Antifa has been spoken of it as though it's some kind of an organization, and from what I understand, it's simply it's not an organization being run by someone. It's some people, whoever defines themselves as being anti-fascist, they are considered part of Antifa, I guess, but it's not like some group of people that has some organization that's been established or anything.
Let me push.
So you think so hold on. So you think it's just an ideology, basically?
And when you say ideology, can you explain what you mean by ideology? People that might think the same? Is that what you're
Right, like
stating?
yeah, like it's their ideology to be anti-fascist, so that's what they call themselves. So it's not what you're saying is that it's not necessarily a organized organization. It's just a group of ideas that people agree to, and that it's just like an ideology.
Okay, yes, that they have that in common if they're anti-fascist, but it's not
Okay.
like been an established
Right.
organization and we all become members of it. That's not the
Okay.
case.
Okay. So are they a party? Would they consider themselves a political party?
I don't know what each and every anti-fascist individual considers about themselves. I couldn't tell you that.
Okay.
I'm just saying the way that it's been
Mhm.
presented as if it's this group of people that's,
Mhm.
all coinciding together and united and stuff. I'm claiming that that's not the case.
Okay. So Jimmy has his hand up. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, let me push back on that, Linda. And the reason why is because throughout my 5 years of looking into this stuff, Antifa is being funded, particularly, like Bo said, George Soros. He is funding them. There is actually a recruitment process and an application to join Antifa that is out there. People can find it. So it is a very organized group of folks that are designed to create chaos in the United States, kind of like the brown shirts back in Nazi Germany. That's what,
I'm against fascism.
well,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Forgive me.
no, I understand what you're saying. There are
going, I ain't wearing no brown shirt, damn it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I don't like fascists either, but I'm not going to go out into my community and burn stuff down, kill people, loot. I'm not going to do that. But that's what these people do because they are being used as pawns to create the chaos in America that we have seen.
I
And
actually
it's
have a
like,
good video that I want to play. Sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
oh, like Bo was saying, these people that were coming across the border illegally, yeah, they were being paid to do that. And the other thing is a lot of these people, they have to pay the cartels money to get them to where they want to go. And then once they get into the United States, then they have to pay those cartels back. And if they can't pay those cartels back, then the next thing you know, they're being taken out. So there's what you see on the news and what you see in social media about this stuff, there's a lot. How does propaganda work? Emotion and fear. And a lot of people, they don't think about the money aspect of this stuff. And once you learn that this was all a coordinated plan to destroy America from within, then you can understand, okay, well, who's being funded? Where's this money coming from? I mean, and you look at the organization. I mean, you look at the people that are coming across the border, or whenever they have a spontaneous protest, they have signs. Do you know that most of those signs are pre-printed?
Yep.
Sure.
I mean, and who pays for that? Who put the bricks? Line the bricks up to let people get a hold of. Somebody put those there.
Yeah.
So
I actually have a good video that I want to play that Jimmy is speaking directly to this. So this
Okay.
is a woman, streamer. She's also a streamer, I think, on YouTube and some other platforms. And she actually goes undercover to show you what it actually looks like. So this was amazing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So let's watch.
Karlin Borisenko is an undercover investigative journalist for Decode the Left who's infiltrated these terror cells. Karlin, tell me about how these people train. They look pretty militaristic.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have sessions where they bring in people with military experience. Anti-war is a very big thing for Antifa, so they do hand-to-hand combat trainings. I was just undercover with them in New York City over the weekend where they had a whole self-defense class where they were teaching people how to violently, confront the police, but also defend themselves if they needed to be put in that position.
And why do they always get out of jail so quickly? You see all these people get popped, they get bailed right out, and charges never stick. How is that?
Well, Antifa, actually, they train people on how to get arrested. And it's interesting with far left subcultures because they actually volunteer to get arrested and go through this type of training where they are provided legal support, they are provided lawyers, they are provided all of this stuff with mutual aid. And so as soon as they get arrested, Antifa basically goes down to the jail and they bail them out, and they are all set up with a lawyer and ready to go. So they plan all of this stuff out ahead of time, and they have the resources set up for people to be able to be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously someone's paying for their legal representation. What is the core mission of Antifa? Is it anarchy? Are they anarchists?
Yeah, Antifa are anarchists. Their primary goal is the violent overthrow of the federal government. I cannot emphasize this enough. You know, we've been hearing a lot of talk about civil war over the last couple years between Democrats and Republicans, red versus blue. I firmly believe that the real civil war we have coming is the radical revolutionary socialists and communists in Antifa versus the federal government. That is their goal. That is their only goal. And people need to start taking this problem very, very seriously.
There you go.
Can
Did
I
you notice she
please
said-
say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I'm sorry, someone was talking. I didn't want to interrupt them.
Did you notice she said subcultures as in more than one? So I'm just saying, I'm just mentioning that. Go ahead, Bo.
Okay, so I know we've all been talking about Charlie and Antifa. You know, you guys know who George Zinn is, right? I'm assuming.
Yep.
No.
Okay, so
No.
you guys are aware that he was an Antifa member?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the things that I a couple weeks ago when I was on you guys' show, I talked about a certain group of people that like children that belong to a certain organization. You know, we call them pedos. If you notice that every single time one of these Antifa members gets arrested, okay, and their history is brought up, or any of these leftist activists, there always has a history of the R word or they're a
Leftist?
pedo.
Any of
Okay?
these leftist activists?
Most of them. If you looked up their history and you see that, it's a pattern of notice. And if Zen, do you know what they arrested him on?
Is this the person you're talking about, Bo? From
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Charlie? Okay.
So he's the one who said, "Hey, I killed Charlie," and he was
Yeah, yeah.
he was
The old guy.
activated to slow them
Yeah.
down so the shooter could actually get away.
That older man that was taken in
And
beforehand.
they couldn't prove him and hold it for really anything. 'Cause technically, nothing he did was illegal. But they got his phone, and take a wild guess what was on his phone.
Right. CSM.
Yep.
CSA.
Images of children.
Yep.
That's horrible.
If you've noticed this, it's a pattern. And I've talked about this, and I think that if you look at Antifa, and you look at BLM, and you see that pattern, and if you look at, you know, for an example, on my phone, I have a list of people with the Democrat Party who have that child problem, and I have 45 of them, high-ranking members. It's not a coincidence, is what I'm trying to say. This is a pattern. This is an organized crime group, and they protect their own.
Yep. And that's why Trump has designated them as a domestic terrorist organization, because that's what they're doing here in this country. And actually, you know, y'all know I, followed the Q boards and everything, but back in 2020, there was a post put out that said Antifa mapping started a long time ago. So the military, patriots, they're very well aware of who is funding Antifa, what their operations are, where they're located. And, that lady just said that, their goal was to go up against the federal government, and they go out and they cause all these riots. And that would kind of explain why Trump has positioned the National Guard in some of these cities that have a large amount of these Antifa people.
Right. Well, it would make sense. I do want to play this clip.
Okay.
So I just want to,
wait.
show people that what Jimmy is saying actually did happen. So we're gonna just play this clip real quick.
Antifa. What comes next after designating Antifa a terrorist
Well, we have others that
organization?
we're going to designate too, but we're going to look at the people that funded Antifa, see who they are, where they came from, and why they did. Have you seen Portland at all? Have you taken a look what's happening in Portland? it's, I mean, this has been going on for years. It's just people out of control and crazy. We're going to stop that very soon. We have to get rid of a couple of other problems first. We're going to get rid of the problems in Memphis where you can't even walk a block without getting shot. We're going to get rid of the problems in Chicago. Chicago is a great city, and we have to save it. We have to save it. I told you I had the head of the Union Pacific Railroad in my office, and I said, so what do you think? You go to every city. You have railroads in you are the biggest railroad, beautiful railroad. He's a great guy. I said, what do you think? He said, sir, save Chicago. Don't let it go down. Save it. The way he said it was so meaningful to me.
So I'll just clip it there because I know there's other people waiting to speak. So Linda, I'm gonna come back to you. I just really quickly want to go to Joseph is back, so welcome back, Joseph, and Apostatute. Very faintly again, Joseph.
What about now?
Okay, much better. Go ahead, Joseph.
With Antifa, Antifa is an organization that originally started back in the late 1930s and early 40s in Italy, against the Mussolini and all that. They were a ragtag group that were against anti-fascist government of Benito Mussolini. Now, the radicals have taken that same name to destroy the United States if they could, if they can. And they will do it by causing a revolutionary riots in the streets, organized riots all across the country. And now that they're designated as a terrorist organization, it's see what Trump is going to do and what the military is going to do to eliminate this threat.
Wow, Joseph, thank you.
Can I add one quick thing to Joseph, what he just said?
Okay, and then we're gonna go to Apostatute because he's been waiting very patiently.
Well, we got to go to Linda first after me because she was going to say something. This is very significant. What he just said is very significant because, when it comes to illegal immigration, we got ICE enforcing that and all that, and people, have their opinion about that. And they're saying, about the National Guard. Oh, Trump can't put the National Guard in. He can't do that. Well, we've already established that he can, and he has every constitutional right to do that. But when you designate someone as a terrorist organization, what does that allow? That allows the military to go after those individuals. So just like what happened with the cartel boat, the cartels have been listed as a terrorist organization. So Trump and his administration had every right to go in there and drop a bomb on them because they are a terrorist organization. So the military, if you see the military go after Antifa, that is by rule of law. They can do that.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Linda, go ahead with your comment, and then we're gonna move on to Apostatute.
Replying to Jimmy Bell, so I believe some judges just claimed that it was unlawful for Trump to have sent them into Los Angeles. I don't know what you think of that, Judge, but I'm just now thinking of that's been established that was not an okay thing for Trump to have done. It was an illegal thing that Trump did do. And I forgot whatever my other statement was.
Yeah, let me can I respond back to that real quick, Linda?
Sure.
Yeah. So what pattern have we established here on the show over the last 6 months when it comes to these judges? They are going to do everything they can to go against the Trump administration. These judges, we talk about Antifa being paid for. We talk about these illegal immigrants being paid. These judges are in the back pocket of George Soros and other people. They are paid to go against Trump and say, oh, he can't do this. That's been proven. And so another thing is a judge who is in the judicial branch cannot go and do what they're doing against the executive branch. They can't do that. So when Trump is following the laws and the orders, it's right there, but they're going to do everything they can to try to muddy the waters and say, oh, he can't do that, which he absolutely can legally.
So, benefit of the doubt here, and I did hear what you said. When you say what we established, and again, I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily convinced, but what if our country is turning into a fascist country, and those that are against fascism are going to be conveniently squashed?
Can you define fascism for me?
Pretty similar to what we grew up in the Watchtower, a theocratic organization where we are to do whatever gets told to us to do. I mean, when they were first having town hall meetings, and people were, yelling back at these different people in politics, they were the audience was being accused of being Democrats, and these Republicans did not care for that shit. They did not want to be called Democrats. They were Republicans, not okay with these people in politics informing them how things are going to go when they were not in agreement with these things.
Okay. All right. Can you give me an example? I'm just asking. Can you give me an example of something fascist that the Trump administration has done?
Well, since 2016, what I teach on my channel is the techniques and tactics of what a cult leader or somebody that wants to take control over someone's life, such as an abusive partner or somebody that has a position of authority and takes a position where they are abusing the power or authority that they have to rule over them, and then they will lose their human rights.
All right. So do you have an example of what the Trump administration has done that would fall into that definition?
Right at the beginning, when it was announced that COVID was happening, okay, he was requesting that people go and protest right then and there for not to wear the masks as soon as it was suggested to wear the masks. It was
that's news to me. Just saying.
It was right off the bat. So basically, it feels like I'm in the Watchtower all over again, and it feels to me, there's no DEI anymore. Civil rights are not considered. To me, it looks like the only people that are safe are cis white men, and the rest are all considered minority groups. And I don't think you yourself, Jimmy, are somebody who's lording that position that you're in over anybody necessarily. I'm just saying you're not going to feel it. I, as a woman, are hearing things about how they want things taken back to like the 1800s, where we can't, and then, where we don't even get to vote. And then, Ruby mentions her view on women not voting, and that's fine. She gets to have her view. But when the government and people in positions of power are talking this way, you know what? It's taken me back to the org, and it's terrifying to me.
All right. So could you be in a fearful position, which we know what fear is?
Mm-hmm.
That's one question. And I'd like to follow that up with, can you tell me what right that an American citizen has, white, black, green, yellow, male or female, that Trump has taken away?
Well, in his first term, during the Black Lives Matter after dark, vans would show up with people getting out of the vans just like they do today, just like ICE does today, but not all equipped and dressed up like they are today. They would get out of the van, you wouldn't know who they are, grab somebody off the street, throw them in the van, and take off. That was like Oregon or Washington. He was doing that back then, and we didn't know who the hell was doing it. And then, like,
Okay, I get where you're saying
that
that.
is not okay. That's against people's human rights. I mean, it's called kidnapping.
But what I'm asking is, what right specifically has a woman lost since Trump's been in office?
Okay, so, and you might disagree with me, but on the abortion situations, I know I've heard Ruby say she doesn't agree with any abortions for any conditions, but I have a few things in mind. When someone has a fetus that lands in the fallopian tubes of a woman and doesn't go further down and lands onto the wall of the womb, if that baby is not taken out, and if that baby still has a heartbeat, that woman will die.
Yeah, we
will die.
yeah, I agree. If it's the health of the mother, that's fine. But I'm trying to narrow this down. You know, so did Trump ban abortion, or did he give it back to the states to decide if they wanted to do it or not? Did Trump? So basically,
if some
He
of
gave
my
it back to the
rights as
state.
a woman has been taken away.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm mentioning.
He gave it back to the states.
hold on just a second. I'm trying to. So let me ask you this, Linda. Did Trump ban abortion?
It wasn't at the Supreme Court.
No.
The higher court that did that. They turned it.
The higher court gave the decision back to the states.
Okay.
So with that, did Trump ban abortion?
Evidently, he was part of it, but it was that court system that overturned it.
No. Okay, so he did not ban abortion.
And I can recall, and it's vague, so
yeah. So
don't quote me on this, but I can recall him bragging that he was part of doing that. I can't say which role he was in, but he considers himself as someone that took that away from women. And if a baby breaks away from the wall of a uterus, that's called a spontaneous abortion. That means you're already having a miscarriage. The way the laws are set up for whatever states these are in, where they're supposed to not do any abortions unless they don't hear a heartbeat, what happens is they used to be able to do what is called a D&C. A doctor would assist a woman who's already having a miscarriage. It has broken away from the wall of the womb, so it's not going to live. And that procedure that's a D&C is actually identical to an abortion that's done, in a clinic when somebody wants to get rid of a pregnancy and that they're not having a miscarriage.
Well,
But
there's
that
a
has
major
been
difference
taken
though,
away.
because that's
the same
different. It's not an
procedure.
abortion. There is a
Correct.
difference,
They're
and that
called
still
two
does
different things.
exist. Right.
No, it
Right.
doesn't exist. That's why we're hearing about people dying, because they're left to
No,
have
it
labor
does
pains
exist.
to give
It
birth
does
to them.
exist actually. There's a
Are you telling me that they are doing D&Cs?
Oh
Even
yeah,
when there's a
for
heartbeat
exactly what you just described. No, when there is a miscarriage, you are correct that's the
and
procedure
there's
that they
still
would
a
take.
heartbeat? Because what I'm understanding is doctors are hesitating to assist these women who are miscarrying
It
until
depends on
there
the
is
state.
no heartbeat. Well, yes, that's what I'm talking
Right.
about. These states that have forbidden abortions,
Yep, correct.
where
I guess the point that I'm trying to make on
I
this.
didn't get the impression they checked with the gynecologist. I think they just came up with their reasons for whatever they thought was best. And
Yeah, I think the
I
point
want to
that
interject here.
okay.
In Nebraska, my granddaughter was having a miscarriage, and she went to the hospital, and they said, "Well, she was having an abortion," and she was like, "I'm having a miscarriage, and I'm bleeding." They turned her away and said, "No, they couldn't do anything to help her
yes,
because that
that's
would
what I'm
be
talking
considered
about.
an abortion." Well, but
Yes.
her body was aborting it naturally because something was wrong with it. Even her next baby died as soon as it was several months early. took a breath, and she died instantly.
Oh,
But she had another miscarriage, and the same thing happened. They would not help her because, like Linda was saying, the doctors are hesitant to help women when they're having a miscarriage, and they can refuse to help you. They can let you bleed to death. They don't have to do anything to help you.
because they'll get fined or get time in jail if there is still
Right.
a heartbeat. So my daughter lives in Omaha, Nebraska. My granddaughters, 2 of them live there. You know, I'm concerned for them. So where there used to be an assistant, a gynecologist that would assist this process, now has to leave them for their body to do it all on its own, which in some cases have been women die because infection happens during that hours upon hours of waiting for the body to naturally abort this fetus that's not
Yeah,
going to
they become
survive
septic.
because they
They
can't
become
get
septic
septic.
from it.
Exactly. That to
Yeah.
me is it shouldn't look like the way it looks, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Now,
So I
I don't support abortions in general. I don't. But I'm completely with Linda on this part because I know personally that they don't have to help you, and a lot of the times they will not. And this was right smack in the middle of Nebraska, and I was so mad that they were letting my granddaughter just bleed and not helping her at all. And a woman does need a DNC after she's had a
Yes.
miscarriage. They need to have that because it's called dilation and curettage. And they go in and they clean out the womb. They scrape out any extra, like the
Anything.
placenta or anything like that that's left behind. And you can't hardly get that done anymore. It's just not done.
Can we move on?
Yeah, 1 minute. So first I want to
More
say,
than 3 minutes.
yeah, so I just want to remind everybody about the 3-minute limit to comments, just so that we can let everybody else have a, make a comment themselves.
Yeah, you lost
Dude.
Pasta Dude. You lost him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Apasta Dude hopped off, but if he hops back on,
Yes. I'll go.
come back, Apasta Dude, because I do want to be respectful of letting everybody say what they need to say, but
I
at the
was
same time,
asked, and Jimmy and I was just continuing back and forth, and I
Right,
was
right.
asked certain questions, so I was answering them.
Yeah.
And
That's
at the
okay,
beginning,
that's
when I
okay.
first got my opportunity, I requested a little bit more. I am respectful
Yeah.
of the 3-minute thing.
Yeah, so if he's listening, if you're still watching, definitely hop back on and you can have the floor. And then just to respond to Debbie's story, just wanna say like I'm sorry to hear that, and it does happen, like Linda pointed out, and how Jimmy also said it went back to the states. So it now, yes, it does matter what state you're in when these things happen. It's a serious thing now. People take it more seriously now than they did before. I think the compromise would be is that those states that do implement those new policies or laws, they need to rewrite those laws so that there is a difference, so that that procedure is not considered an abortion and that it will be readily available to those women who are in those situations. So I would fault the legislation of that state. They
Yeah.
should rewrite the law so that it functions as it should. And then the second part to that comment would be that this is the effects of how much that was exploited when Roe v. Wade was in existence for the entire nation. It was exploited so much now that either everybody says something or nobody says nothing. And they leave the gray areas, which is horrible because they should be writing those things in the law so that those women that actually need it, they get the health care that they need. So anyways, Jimmy, any other comments before we move on to another subject?
I just have
I'm good.
one comment. Did you know the No Kings protesters are going to have a big protest on October 20th across the country?
Yes, I do.
And I just want to say
Oh.
my feelings on
sent to the
abortion.
left.
I don't agree with abortions, but I do if, like Linda said, if the woman's health is at risk and the child's at risk. But I don't like the fact that you can abort at 8, 9 months. I hope that's not still true, because that's disgusting. That's a live child.
Yeah.
I mean,
In some states.
yeah, but it's
It's the
disgusting
same
because
thing in some states, yes.
they're a live baby at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Agree.
I think they should put a cap on how far along you can have one. But I think if a woman's health is in jeopardy in her life, I definitely agree with the abortions.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Gigi.
You're
So we
welcome.
were gonna move on to the Omar situation, and I know that Jimmy is well versed in this theory. Well, it's no longer a theory. So these documents have been plastered everywhere. I'm gonna
Yep.
show it on the screen, and I'm gonna let Jimmy kind of explain, how this started and the significance of these documents. So Jimmy, can you tell us what's going on? How did this come true? How did this conspiracy come true?
Okay, you put me on the spot there because I have not been versed in these documents.
Oh, okay. So just really quickly, I'm showing on the screen here, and I can't really zoom in that much, but if anybody's interested, please Google this. So from Steven Crowder, which is another YouTuber, he released these documents. So I guess they got like a freedom of information or something
Yeah.
like that. And this is a marriage license, and it shows the names of Omar and allegedly her brother, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're trying to prove, that she married her brother. Um, I don't know, was it an immigration thing or was it a political thing? I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
So what I heard this week is you go back to Somalia and what they were doing over there, and her family was like one of the ruling families in Somalia.
Oh, Jimmy, I have a clip. Can I play it
Okay.
real quick while you explain that? Because it is literally about that, and I wasn't sure, but I'm so glad you said it because
Okay. Yeah. Play. Go ahead.
this is it. Okay, watch.
Let's take Ilan Omar as an example, okay? She comes from a family, and they call her a refugee who came from Somalia, right? They call her a refugee. Her family were the governing party, the Marxist Islamist government in Somalia, who were overthrown and then fled. Now, technically, that makes her a refugee, but she wasn't fleeing oppression, or rather, her family weren't fleeing oppression. They were fleeing justice. They were fleeing their own people, holding them to account for the dictatorship that they had established. So you have people like the Omar family, and what do? Do they come to America and see America and go, okay, this is pretty cool. They're not oppressing each other. Let's be part of this. No, they go, hey, how can we oppress them? How can we bring Marxism to America? That's the thought process, and it may be a passive thought process, but it's the thought process. Let's take.
Yeah. So she did marry her brother. That was to, try to bypass the immigration laws. She did do that, wanted to get him over here too. And if you look at where they are centralized in Minnesota, what happened was the population of the Somalians in Minnesota has exploded. And the majority of these Somalians that have come over here were supporters of the Omar family that got overthrown in Somalia. So they're creating what the people overthrew in Somalia. They're creating that over in Minnesota and are being allowed to do that because they're being paid. If you look at what Ilan Omar's net worth was before she became a congressman compared to what her net worth is now, it's a huge discrepancy. So that falls in line. That's just another tool that the deep state's using to try to destabilize our country by allowing factions or subgroups to operate here in the United States.
Okay, so quick question. If this is actually true, right? So this is my problem, is that when this type of information comes out later, when she already is in office, when she was already elected, when she's already here. You see that that's the issue. Why wasn't this brought up before she was ever allowed to run and win an election?
Because the deep state was in power. They were wanting her to be there. They're not going to kick her out.
So, okay. Go ahead. Go
They
ahead.
they allowed it to happen.
Okay, now we have a change. Why hasn't she been taken out based on this? I think this is a legitimate reason to kick somebody off their seat if they committed this type of fraud.
Yeah, that's in the process right now because she was censured. They're actually trying to get her thrown off committees. They're trying to actually get her expelled from Congress right now. So that's happening right now.
Okay. If anybody has any other thoughts, unmute yourself and you can give a thought. Oh, Dallas. Hi, Dallas. Go ahead, Dallas.
And Ilhan Omar, all she is, she's nothing but a traitor right there. She's a traitor, and she is she's just crossing and going against the Constitution. She disrespects the whole entire Omar family. They have no respect for America or American values. That's what I know about it.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah, she even said when she was being sworn in or one of her campaign trails or whatever that her main interest in focus, kind of like we saw Ted Cruz say, well, he was about defending Israel. Well, she said Somalian interests were more important to her than American interest.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, so she did say that. So I wouldn't label her as a traitor because to be a traitor to America, you have to at least love America and then turn on them.
Right.
I consider her a foreign operative.
Yes, I agree. I was just about to say that too. I don't think traitor might fit this scenario. I was gonna say something like a spy or a plant.
Would that be like a
That's
fraud?
more like it.
Yeah, I would say she's a foreign operative.
She's one who spying to disrespect the American culture, Constitution, and our values as. And she didn't even earn her right or privilege to even be here. They did. None of them did.
Yeah, exactly. And Thrifty said in the comments a second ago that we could do a whole show on how crazy things are in Minnesota. And if we go back to the clip that Ruby played, and if you caught it, they said that she was part of a Marxist Islamic political faction. If you look in Minnesota, right now, I think it's Dearborn. They actually have the Islamic call to prayer going off 5 times a day.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, look it up real quick. You'll probably find a video of that.
Actually, Dearborn, that's Michigan, but you got it pretty close. You're pretty close.
You're right. That's Dearborn, Michigan. This is stuff going on in Minnesota. You're correct. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Just helping.
I wasn't for sure what city it was in Minnesota.
You know what's interesting about her? So besides her brother thing, is we know that she's funded and works with George Soros.
Yep.
I think it's really interesting that George Soros is being investigated for RICO crimes right now, and then now they're going after her.
Yes.
So what tells me, or what I've obviously said this, and you guys might agree with this or not, but I said a long time ago that they're going to go after the money before they go after them. And the first thing they did, Democrat parties wasted all their money on all the celebrities. They're bankrupt. All the black money, all the black projects, what Elon Musk, Doge had supported and found out. And then I told people the last thing would be the cartels. Because the Democrats get a lot of money from the cartels and the judges and all that stuff. All 3 of those things have been cut. And now what's happening? Now they're going for them.
Yes.
They had to get rid of that money because that money's because the one thing about you can count on Dems for is they're greedy bastards. and they're willing to step on one another to get money. But now there's no money there, and they're losing their money. Now they've lost the interest in defending themselves to a certain extent, and they're going to camelize one another. And that's
Correct.
the plan that Trump had from the beginning.
Yeah. Ruby, do you have my Facebook page up?
I do, and then I also looked up what you just said to look up, and really quickly, the internet told me that the Minneapolis City Council voted to amend the city's noise ordinance, allowing for the broadcast
Yeah.
from mosques at all hours.
Yeah.
This decision enables the call to prayer to be heard publicly 5 times a day, including during early mornings and late evenings, which were previously restricted due to noise regulations. So
Yeah.
that is insane to
Should
me.
that be happening in America, folks? No, it
Right.
shouldn't.
And that, I mean, that just proves my point that I made earlier, how it is incompatible. And yet they are forcing this coexistence or assimilation or this idea as if these two cultures can, coexist peacefully, basically.
You know,
But in my opinion, it wouldn't be true.
it's kind of funny because these people that come over, they don't want to assimilate to American values, right? But they
Right.
want us to assimilate to their theology.
Right. And they will literally change ordinances or laws to fit them. So if
Yeah.
more and more and more of them keep coming, our existence will be non-existent, basically. There will be no Christianity. There will be more conservatives. There will be no more left and right. It'll be a theocracy based on their religion and their
And
rules.
it goes back to what Bo said about the money side of it. And that's the reason why I wanted to have my Facebook page open, because it'll follow back up with. Scroll down until you see there's 2 pictures, and one of them has like the seal from the White House right there.
I
Can you
just
read
wanted
that?
to
Can you read that tweet for us, please?
Okay, it says, do you see it? Trump is neutralizing the deep state's playbook. First, he cut off their money supply via USAID foreign aid. Now he's shutting down their brown shirts and Tifa. Trump is neutralizing their ability to utilize their playbook with USAID funding shut down and Antifa now a domestic terrorist organization. Soros and the Dems are losing their regime change / color revolution capabilities. Trump knows their playbook. He knows what they have planned for when he arrests deep state actors. So he is cutting off their slush funds, shutting down their sleeper cells, MS-13, Tren de Aragua,
Turn the agua.
Argua, and paramilitary groups Antifa before Trump makes his big move. I believe Trump wanted to deploy the National Guard to Dem cities nationwide has a lot to do with Antifa and other potential sleeper cells / terrorist groups who will be activated if Trump arrests high-profile individuals. The deep state have a standing army of left-wing paramilitary extremists ready to riot and utilize violence against Americans. And Trump knows he must neutralize this threat before he makes arrests. The plan is coming together.
Yep. That's exactly what Bo was referring to.
Can I say something to Joseph real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you, Joseph, for mentioning about Italy and how here in the U.S. they've taken on what was going on in Italy, that anti-fascist, I think you called it kind of a ragtag movement. Thank you for that.
Well, they even used the song Bella Ciao.
Bella Ciao,
Bella
Ciao, Ciao?
Ciao. Yes. Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my.
Antifa in the United States used the same song that they used in the 30s and the 40s. They
And
have
that's what was
adopted the same playbook.
wow. Wasn't that etched on one of the bullets from the gun?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. That's what yes, allegedly. I agree. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph, for sharing that piece of history.
Okay, Dallas. Glad you're on. Glad to see that you're on.
We have had a
It's
lively
my
stage
honor to
tonight.
be here.
We've had a lively stage tonight. Thank you all.
Yeah, I am so happy. I think this is the first episode in season 2 that has so much participation on the stage and in the
Yes.
chat. So this is amazing. I am so happy you guys are all here sharing your opinions
Yep.
and just spending time together in this way. You know, it's been very respectful, very
Yes.
nice, you know, very
Cordial.
yeah. Yeah, so it's been great.
I think so.
Jimmy, any comment before I move on to a opinion topic that all of us can kind of have because it is 11:26, so we're gonna start wrapping it up soon.
And I still want to read the text exchanges.
Okay, so let's do that because that was kind of crazy, and I think you should just read it. So let us know where you got that from, what is it, and then we'll discuss. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's switch gears here from abortion, immigration, Antifa, George Soros. That's all great stuff. I love talking about that stuff. It's awesome. But so let's switch over into the Charlie Kirk stuff a little bit, and you guys can feel free to stay on the stage because I want to hear what you guys have to say as well. So last week we did not go into details on where the shot came from, what bullet was, and everything like that. But this past week, there's been some crazy stuff come out, and one of the things that came out was a text exchange between Tyler Robinson and his little furry buddy, Lance Twiggs, his little live-in boyfriend. Is supposed to be transitioning to a female.
Mhm.
All right. So this text exchange came out. I think it was the FBI. The FBI put it out. Have you guys heard about this? Yes or no?
In the chat, yeah,
Yes.
let's give a minute for everybody in the chat. Let us know, have you heard about this? And just to be clear, I would refer to this person as the alleged shooter. I mean, did you say that,
Oh,
Jimmy? Or
absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
I just want to put that out there because I am still debating whether or not this is the actual person who did it or is this just the fall guy. So let us know. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah. Me personally, I don't think he
Deborah
pulled the
says
trigger.
yes. Nurse
I've
says
heard
yes.
that his partner is in a group called Fluffies or something to do with
Yeah,
Yeah.
furry.
Yeah.
Fluffies
Furries.
or furries, yeah, they're furries. So,
But anyway, so I'm gonna read this,
okay.
and tell me just how you got. We'll talk about it after I read it. Okay. So it was put out on September. It says it was September 10th that this was put out, or September 11th it was put out. I don't know. Hold on. Let me backtrack. I thought it was put out after this. I don't know why this says September 10th up here. I just pulled it off an article. But anyway, what was I getting ready to say? I apologize, y'all. But anyway, so this was put out and said they found it on a Discord chat. So let me just read it. Tyler Robinson starts, and this is text messages, allegedly while he's on the run. Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard. The roommate then looks under the keyboard and found a note that stated, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Roommate says, what? You're joking, right? I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some they grabbed some crazy old dude that interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. How long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept the spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring Grandpa's rifle. I don't think it has a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Do you remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think it was a $2,000 scope. Please delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. He's calling me right now. I'm not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. That was the text exchange. There were no dates. There were no timestamps on any of this. What do y'all think?
One word answer. Real or
AI.
fake? Okay.
Yeah.
AI.
Let's
Next.
start there. Real or
One.
fake?
Yeah, real or fake. So both said AI. Anybody else? Unmute yourself and give me a one-word answer. Real or fake or whatever word.
Fake.
All right. Gigi says fake. Linda. Or Dallas or Joseph or Debbie. Anybody? Dallas?
I say false.
False. Okay. All right. Everybody had their moment
Definitely
to
fake.
unmute. Okay, Linda says definitely fake. Awesome. So, Joseph, let's see, unmute. There you go, Joseph. I unmuted you. I don't know how that happened, but go ahead.
Okay, it's a fake. It's been fabricated to make look like
Okay.
it's some type of love interest. But
Right.
the way it's written, it doesn't sound like it's human.
Ah, okay. Good
Exactly.
one.
And Bo did say something a second ago, AI. And
Mm-hmm.
there were other digital soldiers out there that did put this through an AI detector, and it
Mm-hmm.
came back to be 98% AI.
Yep. So really quickly, let's give some love to the chat. Justin says fake. Jesse says fake as Caitlyn Jenner. Elaine says fake. King of Dots says real. I think he's just messing with us. Jane says fake email. JG says, do they think the public is stupid? John Marciano says fake. And he also says AI generated script, totally fake.
Okay, so now let's ask the stage and the chat. What specifically in this letter caused you to be like, yeah, that shit's fake?
Every single point that the mainstream media pointed out before they got dissed and made fools of happens to show up in this script. Like, we're retarded. Like, let's be honest. There's no way. Oh, it was an attempt to frame someone as a MAGA person who went estranged so that they can try to take guns away. That's all it was.
Right.
There was a couple of things for me. First off, I know some 22-year-olds, and they don't talk like this and have perfect punctuation when they're texting.
But it
One
also
thing,
didn't make sense. It
no,
also
it
didn't make
didn't.
sense.
So one point that so Candace Owens pointed this part out, and we have a lot of women on the stage and in the chat. So this is one thing that caught her, where it says, oh, hold on, let me get to it. I apologize. Where's it at? Secret lockdown. I had planned to carry my rifle. Oh, here it is. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wasn't traced to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is what Candace pointed out. How many men do you know say, I need to change my outfit?
Right. That's a
Oh
good
gosh.
point. That's a good
I'm gonna
point.
have to be honest. I have
Are you guilty of that, Bo?
I have a lot of friends that are gay, and they do say that.
Okay. All
So,
right.
and he is technically gay. So
That's true.
Allegedly.
I will give
Allegedly.
him that. I will be
You
honest with
may
you. But
actually
yes,
be
I know where
correct
you're
on that,
going.
though.
Yeah. So that's just what Candace pointed out. Another thing was squad car.
Yeah, we don't say that.
We don't say,
Nobody says that.
and then the whole my love. Are we that one right there? I was like, what? And then if you watched an ABC News reporter talk about this, he was actually trying to frame it like, oh wow, this is, you might be able to find it, Ruby. ABC reporter reports on text messages. And what this dude says, let me see if Ruby can find it, because it'd be awesome to play it right now.
Okay, you said ABC reporter.
Yeah, ABC News reporter reports on shooters' text messages.
Reports on shooters.
I know
messages.
exactly where you're going, Jimmy. I saw it.
Did you see it? Yeah.
Yes.
I have a 20-year-old grandson. He doesn't speak anything like this, okay?
Exactly.
At all. And so,
Okay.
yeah. It's like
So let me know,
speaking a
Jimmy.
foreign language.
Sorry, is this the video with this guy?
I think so. It's too small, but I think it's it. Yeah, play it. Just play it. See what it says.
ABC reporter.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope it is.
It's actually it's pretty pathetic. Wouldn't you say, Bo?
Yeah, I don't know what's not playing, but yeah, he basically is saying this is like a love story. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Is it this one?
Yes.
The other thing that stood out to me, David, is those text messages. I don't know if we have seen an alleged murder with such
come on.
text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who was transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case.
Shame, shame, shame on that reporter.
That's what made me sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said that's what made me, honestly, 100% not joking, like the Charlie Kirk shooting. I was like, it is 100% a hit, and it was a government hit. When I saw that guy talking, you know for a fact that guy was paid to say that.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no way. And then there was people were talking about that journalist history, like he's gone to war zones and stuff like that, and then this is what he comes up with, saying something that is so foolish and idiotic. There's no way that dude. I bet you if you look at his bank account the next 2 years, it's gonna double or triple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found it funny when they said, hey, I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. How the hell did you know that?
Exactly. Right.
Weren't you on the run?
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was one of the major red flags. Another red flag was the storyline. It either he wrote it the wrong way or grammar issues. I don't know what. It didn't make sense when you were reading it, as if somebody's texting back and forth. It didn't sound like a back and forth. The use of the word vehicle. Nobody says
Yeah.
vehicle
I gotta get my
in a
vehicle.
yeah, no. And I think somebody also said this, and they said that people who say that are law enforcement. They refer to cars as
Yes.
vehicles. Let me see what else.
My
Major
dad.
red.
Oh, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say about that clip, the news reporter. Does he even is he even hearing what he's saying? Because literally when he says, I can't believe it was so detailed. Like, yeah, dude, it was so detailed. So the almost like step by step. Even if let's say it was true, the way he was saying it. Oh, I had to do the drop point. I had to do this. I have to go back for my rifle. I have to, and then he inserts grandpa, which confuses the everything. So that's what it's like. He wasn't even listening to what he was saying. That is the very thing that you should raise an eyebrow about. And he's
Mhm.
just saying it like, oh, and it was so intimate. Is it really that intimate to say my love? If you're talking to somebody that like if there's a relationship there, I wouldn't. So I mean, I would say,
Oh, Ruby, come on
yeah.
now. You would be saying, "Oh, my love, I wouldn't commit murder, but I'm trying to protect you because you're my love." And like,
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm
because
saying.
I
Like, even if
murdered
it was
somebody,
real, though, even if it was, that's not
it's
that intimate to
stupid.
me to say my love. That's just an endearment. But he wanted to make it so like, wow, we even saw some love from this shooter. Like if he's humanizing the guy.
Exactly. And that's what the media was trying to do, humanize this guy so that they can manipulate people to be like,
Yes, that's what I
oh,
mean.
he's not really bad. Oh my God. I was dying when I saw that. I was like, you
Yeah,
got to
there's
be
a lot
kidding
of
me.
layers. There's a lot
What
of layers to this. Go ahead, Bo.
What about the connection of Discord? Do you guys know about this?
No, but I do know that Discord was mentioned. That's why I was like, Jimmy, is this a
So,
text? Is it Discord? Like, what
do you
is
Yes,
it?
I'm
guys use
familiar with
Discord? Do
that.
you guys know what it is?
Ruby
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, just it's used a lot for gaming. Okay,
Yeah. Right.
now they were caught trying to destroy those
hmm
messages. Okay,
hmm
do you know where Discord is located?
No, but it is an
San
American company, right?
Francisco, California.
Ah, yeah.
Surprise,
hmm
surprise.
Wow.
I just thought I would throw that little nugget. Now, remember when Cash Patel said that they were
hmm
looking at companies that were involved? They didn't say
Yeah.
hmm
any names.
Yeah.
hmm
I think that they're pulling the records and they're gonna. We're not gonna hear for a while, but I think that whoever was in Discord, because in order to do that, you would have to have an
hmm
admin account in order to do what was happening. So that means that somebody from the IT department in the Discord, at its
hmm
minimum, would have to
hmm
have been involved with that. So there would be somebody from the top who would tell
hmm
them, or it would be an IT person took it on their own to do that, which would be destroying evidence of a
Right.
murder scene.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Go ahead,
Let's,
Jim.
um, oh Lord, I was going to ask the chat and the stage something. Um, oh my God.
There's one last
I
clip
was
that I
so
want
I
to
was
show.
so intensely listening to Bo that I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I remember. So for the stage, for the chat, I just want to test the waters here.
hmm
Yes or no? Was this a lone wolf operation in your opinion?
Hell no.
No.
No, 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 no.
No.
No,
Hell no.
no.
Not a chance.
Let's see. I love you guys are awesome.
Yeah, JG says no. Elaine, no. Deborah, no. Jesse, no way, Jose. I'm glad we're on the same page with that at
Oh my
least.
God, you guys are awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good guys. But you know how
We have a very intelligent audience.
yes, so far so good.
And
Oh,
don't
Joseph just
forget,
came back.
hail to the no. There's, hail to the no.
And Bo is
So,
right. It's like
hmm oh, Linda,
Linda, go ahead.
I think you just hit the mute button by accident. Go ahead.
sorry. I think Bo is
Mhm.
right. Like, how do you take everything we need to make it case and stick it into a text that has no timestamps.
Yeah.
Texts always come with timestamps and dates. So no.
Yep.
Right here.
Yeah, welcome back, Joseph. There's a minor echo, Joseph. I'm gonna see if I could help you out here. But Elaine just joined the stage. So really quickly, Elaine, give us your thoughts because I'm about to show a clip of another theory of this
Okay. Yeah.
conspiracy.
Just a real quick thought. I don't want to get assassinated for it, but I have a thought that we've had a pattern going on for many years where things were done, but we didn't know what was behind it till later on. So I'm thinking this is a very similar thing. There's something going on behind the scenes that it's not being brought out. And for me, my thought is like many others that were suicided. We know they were suicided, even though it would be put out. We know that they were possibly killed. Many people that were revealing the darkness of what goes on behind the scenes. And for me, I'm thinking possibly Charlie came across information that he knew was against his ethics, him being a very religious, righteously inclined young man, that he came across some darkness that he shouldn't have found out. And they were worried that he was going to reveal it. And it could be tied in to the Epstein Trump situation. That's just a thought. Now, I'm just guessing, but I'm looking at patterns that have gone on through the years where anybody that broke their what do you call it, oath, because they have to give an oath to be up there with those people up there. And I'm thinking Charlie, being young and impetuous, and possibly he was compromised by finding out things that he realized he wanted to expose, but maybe he tried to, and then they figured out that he was a risk. So, I can't put a name on the element that does this kind of thing, but we know that many through the years have been suicided and shut down because of wanting to reveal the darkness, that we have found out about. That's my thought, and then I'll leave you guys to, say, "Oh, she's crazy." Anyway.
No, hey, this is your first time being on stage, right?
I know I get on sometimes on Fran and Joe's show. Sometimes.
Okay, but the first time with us, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was the first time you've been on. I would say you are thinking in the right direction on many areas there.
Thank you, Jimmy. I was gonna actually call you about it, but I thought I'll just bring it out here without saying the wrong. I'm trying not to say the wrong words.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. There's so many avenues to this. There's some that believe that. Okay, I'm just going to say it. There's some believe, he was really shot. He's dead, blah, blah, blah. There's others that believe that there's a bigger conspiracy there and that he was taken into witness protection. We don't know all this yet. So Elaine was right when she said there's so many different things that have happened, and we find out about that stuff months, years later.
Yeah.
But I think in this situation, because it woke up so many people, because that's one thing that me and John noticed, XJW Analyzer, during our conversations. He told me, he's like, Jimmy, there's so many people from the left waking up because of this situation. And so
that's an onion. There's so many layers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, too, and the powers that be don't want him going for president, and he had the potential. He had the potential.
Oh, he definitely had the potential.
He had the drive, and he had the following.
Yes, that's correct.
So
And he
Yeah.
had the backing of Israel before he started going against them.
He rejected Israel. Yeah, that issue. It could
Yes,
be many
he did.
reasons, but maybe
Yeah.
all of the evil people got together and said, "Oh yeah, he's got to go." You know? I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
laughing at. I'm not
Uh,
laughing at it. I'm not laughing at it. I'm sorry.
if
I
you
don't
look
mean
at it,
to
if you look at his
be
following,
sarcastic.
I think I heard a stat that said people under the age of 30
Hmm.
have
Mhm.
soured on Israel.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And we talked about the voting bases that they need, and so to be able to keep operating here in the United States. And if you have all these people that are 30, they get in their 40s, they get in their 50s, and they're still
Mhm.
anti-Israel,
Mhm.
Hmm.
then Israel's done for. They're not
Good.
going to
Yeah.
they're not going to have that backing anymore. So that would be an area that they would be afraid to lose.
Right, which is the young people, and Charlie had a direct line to young people, which
Yes.
is why they want to shut down any young influencers in our generation. And I
Yeah.
think that's why
Right.
it hit harder because he is one of my peer. I'm 29, he's 31. Like this is my generation. It was a
Yep.
direct
Hmm.
attack, whether or not they were behind it. It is a direct
Hmm.
attack to the young generation because they know how awake and powerful we are with this new
Yep.
knowledge.
Hmm.
Yep.
We are not blindsided by whatever the previous generations were blindsided by. That doesn't work with us. And I
Yeah.
and I think it will even
Wonderful.
be worse for the next generation. Gen Alpha will be even worse than us. So if you think we're bad, imagine Gen Alpha who's growing up right now, viewing all of this happening with the left and the right. They are gonna grow
There's
up
a
with
Gen
it with an
Alpha.
even yep.
Another switch that's going on, I wanted to say one more thing,
Mhm.
is by broadcasting this all over the media, and we know who owns the media, right?
Hmm.
By
Mhm.
broadcasting this all over the media, they are normalizing political
Mhm.
violence,
Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
normalizing political violence in this generation. And so it's only going to add more violence to more violence. But anyway, that's all I have to
And
say.
that's not
Thanks,
just
guys.
that's just not happening here in the United States.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a party in Germany, the AfD party, which you consider would be the more conservative party over there.
Hmm.
They recognize the problems in the German government, kind of similar to what we're dealing with.
Mhm.
And I think the number's up to 7 people that were involved in the AfD party who were going to run for positions have been assassinated within the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay. So it's
You
going on
know,
all over. Yeah.
Correct.
in a
Most
Correct.
way,
definitely.
Hmm.
by taking out Charlie, they've martyred him. So that could backfire a little bit because, well, it still provoked violence, though. But the young people 30 and under would would look up to Charlie and the fact that he was martyred for what he believed in,
Exactly.
and I mean that could even make a stronger movement though to take out the deep state. Even
Most definitely. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what's gonna
Hmm.
happen.
Let
Go
me
ahead, Jimmy.
let me throw something in that I thought about the other day, and I mentioned this to John. He's like, "Oh crap, Jimmy." He says, "You might be right." Okay,
Mhm.
so we don't know really yet. We have our suspicions of who may be involved in all this, but it's kind of funny to me that the bases that Israel depends on are the Zionist Jews, and the Christian Zionists.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
and what was funny to me was I was thinking about a, a saying or a statement that Albert Pike allegedly made, where he said, allegedly, that when it comes time that they need a hero, we will supply the hero.
mm,
And then I started thinking, I was like, well, crap, you got these hardcore Christians who are looking at him as a martyr. There's people,
Mhm.
there are people out there that are likening him to Jesus Christ. And then you got the surgeon that allegedly came out and said, oh, well, he saved more lives in his death because the bullet didn't go through his body. His bones were so dense that it stopped the bullet and the bullet was just beneath his skin.
Mm-hmm.
How
So
does that save more lives?
do what?
Because instead of going
How
through
does
and hurting somebody
save?
behind
Okay,
him, it
Yeah,
lodged
I'm sorry.
in his neck.
yeah. So
Gotcha. Okay.
there seems to be a faction of this that wants to try to boost up the Christian side of things.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a little too much. Yeah,
That's just something that I just thought about that one night. What do y'all think?
yeah.
I'm in definite agreement with you. And I don't know if anybody mentioned this, but he was very much for releasing the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And when Epstein
Yeah.
files got brought up, they are getting shut down. And
Well, you did hear about Linda what they voted on that day, right?
if they
About
voted to
Epstein?
not release them, correct?
Yeah, they voted not. So yeah, so it was up for a vote in Congress, and they voted. Oh no, it was in the Senate, and they voted it down. So then that just goes back to me. To me, that tells me, okay, which senators voted no on this, and let me go see how much money they got from AIPAC.
Right.
Of course, yeah. Follow the money. So really quickly, one last
I have one
rabbit
question.
hole.
Can I
Oh,
ask
go
you
ahead,
one
Debbie.
question? Going back to Omar, isn't it illegal to be married to your sibling in this country? Or
Yeah.
It's supposed to
okay,
be.
then how is it that if they're married and she's holding a political position, why the heck aren't they in jail? I mean, and why is she still in a political position?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm
It's
correct,
all illegal. Just get rid of it.
yeah, Debbie, if I'm correct, I think they got divorced. At some point, I think they married and then they got divorced, and then I think she ran for office.
Convenient.
I could be wrong. Somebody can fact check me on that, but I think that's how it went down.
Okay,
Well,
so maybe
probably
when
because if everybody had known she was married to her brother, oh my God, I
But
just can't imagine anybody electing somebody into a position if they had known she had been married to her brother and knew he was her. It'd be different if she didn't know it was her brother, you know. But what was the whole point of her being married to her brother? I've
to get him
lost
over
that.
here, to get him over here in the United States.
Yeah, to get him here.
Her citizenship, U.S. citizenship.
So we don't
You
know
get
if
married,
it's there or they get married
quicker.
here.
You can get citizenship quicker when you're married to
Right.
someone who is a citizen.
Yeah.
Right, so it's immigration fraud basically, because
Yeah.
she knows that's her brother, and she did it anyways just to get him over here, and then when he is here, you can get divorced or whatever, and he can overstay or whatever. It's all illegal, all of it.
There's one thing that you guys might see floating around, and I think I've already debunked it because when I first saw it, I put it on my Facebook page, like, what is this? And then I dug a little deeper, went back and took some pictures or screenshotted some pictures. There are people out there that are talking about there was a trap door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So and the fact that they went ahead and started paving right over that area,
Wow.
like 48 hours after it happened. But that trap door thing, from what I saw and everything, that is an electrical thing to where they can go down in, and they have sprinkler systems and stuff there. So they go down there, and it's like a little spot where all the electrical stuff is, and they can go in there. If you look at the picture before the event happened, there's a picture of the tent, and then over to the right side, which would be the left side of the tent, it shows where that thing is. Those trap doors are. So there's too many people out there saying, oh, there was a trap door underneath there. I'm not saying there wasn't one, but that particular one they're showing is not it, because the tent was not over that.
Okay.
You can actually see it. So I'm just putting that out there. So if you folks see stuff about trap door, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's not, no.
All right, guys.
thought
So
that
it's
was okay.
midnight.
Okay.
I'm gonna play the last rabbit hole of a clip that I found that was very suspicious when it came to this whole this whole case. So let's watch it, and then I'm gonna bid everybody good night. So you everybody in the chat start saying your good nights now because it's midnight. Let's
Okay.
watch this.
Keep watching, please. So this is Tyler Robinson, as you know, and he's the suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting. Now let's jump over to this guy. He looks totally normal. He's Kush Patel of the FBI. And he stated numerous times that it took 33 hours to catch the perp, right? 33 hours. Now let's jump over to the BBC News channel in the UK. They used this photo in the arrest article, but some clever soul has pulled the metadata and it does not match by a long way. So because of time zones, it was around 7:30 p.m. in the UK at the time of the shooting. But you can see here that the image of Tyler was embedded into the article at 11:40 p.m. That's only 4 hours after the shooting. They didn't release it till the next afternoon, but they had the photo and uploaded it. How? You tell me. Even more bizarre is this photo of the alleged perp. Odd photo to take for a start. But look at the computer screen. Let's see where this place is.
And I'll see you in Valhalla. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
You go into witness protection. There's different ways you can create an identity. It's much easier to have a shared identity. And do you allow them free somewhere, or do they go to what we call Valhalla, some holding place that's not able to be in communication with the rest of the world, but as a community, and then you can bring them out later on.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
All right, everybody. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. If
You guys
wanna
all have a good night.
have a good night, everybody. If you guys want to investigate it, go ahead and do it. Yes.
We
Good
will.
night,
See
all.
you later. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night, y'all.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for
Night,
joining.
y'all.
Good night. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you to everybody in the chat. We'll see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. And hopefully this does trigger a lot of research for you guys, and you guys do your own little rabbit holes and your own little homeworks, and you can come next Tuesday. But I thought that was really interesting. I don't know, because Jimmy's been saying it on the show, and I've been very against it because I always say I don't believe in any of that. But I am open-minded enough, and maybe he is alive. I don't know.
Hey, we'll just say, stay tuned, refill your popcorn, because a lot more is coming.
All right. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Trump, yeah, okay, bury him a legend, yeah, Trump, hey, okay, America's biggest blessing, free speech advocate, packing, never lacking it, I just bought another gun and ain't nobody taking it, gang, okay, the White House going crazy now, MAGA season, tell them liberals they can't break us down, it's up, they know we run it, best believe it now, about to paint the city red, please don't burn it down.